and you know, like, you're going to bring in all this business, right, to their store. Like, they're overwhelmed. It's like a government bureaucracy. Like, we don't want it.
Yeah.
This is too much money for us, guys. We don't want to do the work required to make this money. And so they don't. They don't like it. And it's because they're accustomed to this, like, mediocre level of everything. And so
which is really disappointing because, you know, New Hampshire, other than that, could be a really, really good place to be.
It is the oldest or one of the top 3 oldest populations. Like, in age of people who are currently alive here.
Right. And again, that population has become so accustomed to this low level of service and quality, right, that it's just built into the culture, and they pass that on to the next generation who's like thrilled, right, about this, you know, garbage quality, you know, quality of life and quality of service, that they just continue to pass it on.
Yeah, I can't really say anything different about that. The thing is, like, I stand by my opinion that people should move to New Hampshire for the Free State Project. Last week, the reason there was a Valentine's Day Epstein special is because I went to go visit my friends in Texas, and I love so many things about Texas more than I love the same things in New Hampshire. Yep. A million things. But I have to say, one thing I was remembering the whole time I'm there is just exactly why I don't live among people who don't care much about human freedom. That's a culture of mediocrity in its own mediocrity in its own right. It's like people who are like so focused on what they need to do with themselves, and I don't blame them. Oh my God, people who are parents, so much to worry about. But then the other was that it's not really about them being parent. It's just that they only care about materialistic things, let's say. Yeah. And they just will absolutely be like, oh, you said put on a mask. Got it. Don't care about...
I'll put on my mask and get my shots and get my saccharin.
Well, it would also be nice...
And my Zoma.
It would also be nice if, like, the local New Hampshire population cared as much about freedom and liberty as the movers do.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But there's like an active population of locals fighting for their mediocre level of freedom.
True.
Rather than supporting the libertarian movement to get more of it.
Yep.
So there's not even like an entire culture of freedom and liberty here. There's pockets of it bolstered by the Free State Project. But the status quo of what New Hampshire has for these old timers, right, is like the perfect level of freedom. We don't need any more freedom here. We're already number one. We've got it.
That they can't deal with is if you point out to a local that's not a Free Stater that New Hampshire was going blue in every single metric. I sat there and I did like a little deep researching excursion for days about this once when I was just in a F the locals mood. New Hampshire would be absolutely just as blue as everything else in New England if the Free Staters didn't get here. It was a literal 2008 turnaround, and no sooner. It was going so blue in every way, and it was so bad that we're still turning around on the federal voting level, and we are, and it's you can see that every time New Hampshire votes for the Democrat president, the gap is getting smaller and smaller.
You got to change the culture before you change the politics, because politics seem to be downstream from culture. So when we change the culture of the population of New Hampshire by bringing liberty-loving people here, it's going to take some time to get the culture to change.
And I'll also suggest liberty-loving doesn't necessarily mean red either.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Right.
I love that you say that and everything, but I will say that the blue here is pretty bad. The blue here is like, they hate the Free State Project because they love big government.
Which is fine, but you've got a lot of the red libertarians championing ICE.
Which is gross.
I wouldn't say a lot of the red libertarians championing ICE, if you mean in New Hampshire, but almost all of the red locals, yes. There are several, and it's annoying, and I would like to talk about it.
Well, I will say the red libertarians who represent the libertarians here in New Hampshire, like
they don't,
LPNH,
but they act like they do, and it pisses me off.
Well, de facto, they do. Right? They've got the social media. They got
the loudest voices.
They control the narrative. You know, LPNH, the Mises Caucus, those people. Right, they're a little too red to still be considered libertarians.
Is all of LPNH doing that right now?
Well, again,
I know why.
Who controls the narrative? And there's the ones that control the narrative. are the ones that are making the posts and like
But
speaking on
something
behalf
I
of
just
the group.
learned is that Ben Weir, the guy that we had interviewed on here, that was on the more righty side of
Sure.
the two sides of LPNH that won chair, and he really milded the LPNH chat. I mean, on Twitter in order to make it less insane, like literally racist stuff like that.
Okay.
He actually stepped down quietly. I hadn't heard about it. It's been months. So whoever's doing it, I think I have an idea who's doing it.
Huh.
But they don't like to say
Interesting.
who posts on their LPNH
Of course
account.
not, because
Of
they don't
course
want
not.
they don't want to take personal responsibility for
Yep.
their words.
Yep. And it's annoying.
It is really annoying because, you know, to me, I don't want to be represented by people who love the ICE, who love saying we got to deport the illegals and things like that. That to me is big government.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
big government. You're right. And that's what pisses me off, because it's not just like on the ICE conversation. It's not just there's, you know, right and wrong, and I mean in that, okay, let's say there's not just, it's not just that it's left and right, it's that is, do you believe in human freedom or not? And
Yeah.
if you happen to be mostly on the side of right most of the time when you're voting, and you are in line with liberty as well,
Yeah.
but you're just like going to go with ICE because it's on the right, you've just stepped over the line, and now you're against human freedom.
Right, and I've seen a recent post where someone, you know, within the Free State Project movement on the right, most, you know, probably.
You can say names if you want. I just
No, I don't. You know, I don't remember the names that I read on the social post all the time. But they indicate like, if you want marijuana, go to Massachusetts.
oh no.
Right.
I want
Like,
marijuana.
no.
I'm going to stay in New Hampshire.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
So like, screw that guy. But at
Yeah.
the same time, they're pushing the libertarian narrative to the right.
It's people like that
you're
who
right.
make me want to smoke marijuana openly with a bong and get so stoned that I just don't care.
Riley,
Which should
let's
be
get
your right.
arrested.
Let's do it.
Let's get arrested for your bread. I'll sell something too.
Okay.
But
Let's do
I
it.
think we need to wait till spring because I don't want to get arrested in the cold again.
You marijuana smokers are violating the NAP because it's wafting over your fence into my wall.
Well, I'm using a
into my
dry air
yard.
vaporizer, and if it's stinky, that's your problem.
Okay.
It doesn't. I've not.
That-
never even.
this is
haven't
the
even really thought
complaint
about
I
that.
saw on Facebook.
Well, these people on Facebook are just dumb.
But sure, but this was like within the Free State Project group.
I understand
Right.
that, but they're
These-
still retarded.
Okay. I agree with you. And I just want to make sure that
They're still acting retarded.
when
It's
we're
stupid.
when we're advocating like
We're
never
raising
blue,
a bunch of 3-year-olds.
Yes.
when we're advocating never blue, it doesn't mean we want to go full red tard either.
I completely agree with you.
All right.
And thank you for the correction, because, like, yes, I genuinely think that New Hampshire was going more blue and it would be less free. I think both those things.
Yes.
I think it's an indication, too. But I also don't want to sound like on the air that I'm trying to say right is right and blue is, just like them Democrats are the only ones that ever get anything wrong. No, the righties get things wrong, too.
You got to
That's why-
shift it away from red and blue and back to black and yellow.
Yeah.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
I
Yes.
forgot about that song.
Or black and gold for finicky people.
There you go.
Well, we do have something. I was just in South Texas, and we kind of brought up the ICE conversation. So I want to get into this article about the Wall Street, or from the Wall Street
A
Journal.
reputable news source, by the way.
Immigration raids in South Texas are starting to hit the economy.
You
Trade-
don't say.
Trade groups
right?
are raising alarms about aggressive immigration enforcement hurting business in the region. Says Willasco, Texas. Never heard of it. At Monte Cielo. Dang. Okay, it's like I don't know any of these words. At Monte Cielo, which does that mean world sky or something? I don't know. A new housing development in this growing region of South Texas. Half-built homes are sitting empty. Oh, that's why you wouldn't have heard about it. It's like people don't live there yet. On a recent day, just a few workers hovered behind temporary wrap tacked to wall frames. Those things with a bunch of like
Yep.
words on them. It's kind of weird to think that's in your house. you
Okay.
know, in the walls. The quiet scene comes after federal immigration agents have hit the development repeatedly, carrying out at least half a dozen raids there in recent months, Builder said. You know what's also scary about that? It's like, I am a subdivision kid. Like, I lived in Texas in a place called Cibolo. That's the town.
Okay.
But in Cibolo, when you're at high school and you meet a friend and you're asking them where they live, you say, where do you live? And they tell you the name of their subdivision. It's like
Okay.
tiny towns inside the town.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I lived in Saddle Creek Ranch, and
Okay.
I'd be like, oh, I live in Saddle Creek Ranch, and they'd know exactly what I meant. And when I first moved to Saddle Creek Ranch, it was half the size it is now, and across the street from me was a field, and the house right in front of me hadn't finished being built yet. I was just, every single day, there's workers, usually like Hispanic-looking guys,
Yeah.
playing like banda and working on the houses in my neighborhood. It's like, not only are you like, grabbing these human beings and moving them against their will, you're putting like all these people that already live in these places at risk. It's like, it could get, hot really quickly. This is just a scary thing to think about. Like, I'm thinking of my childhood and just like, I'm so glad there weren't cops constantly doing raids there.
Yeah. Who'd
crazy.
want that?
I don't.
The builders don't want it. Like, okay, so now that the buildings aren't getting built, right? Where's all the Americans lining up to take the job?
They're obviously not lining up to take the jobs because it's affecting the economy.
Right. Like you created a system. You created a system where like the buildings aren't going to get built. The people who want to live there can't because there's no buildings to build. There's no buildings to live in, and the people who wanted the work you've kicked out, and the people who don't want the work aren't working.
It's really bad. It sounds
Good
so bad.
job, federal government.
I want to
Donald
ask
Trump.
I want to ask the listener out there: do you have less money in your pocket because illegals are in America, or do you have less money because people are leaving? Illegals are being kicked out of America. I want to know if there's actually a real difference in your wallet between 2020 and 2026 when ICE started doing their raids.
You know what would make more money in your pocket? If we just got rid of welfare and all the white people and Americans that are on it had to go get real jobs.
So I'll sort of answer your question and play devil's advocate a little bit because I don't know how real the statistic is. Feel free to look it up if you want. But someone posted a statistic that said for every million immigrants that come into the country, rent goes up 2% or 1% or something.
Every
like that.
million.
So we have like 20 million people in the 20 million illegals in the country allegedly, right? So rent has gone up 20%. And they're calling it causative, not necessarily just correlative. So those people would say, yes, I have less money in my pocket because illegals have come over.
For every million illegals in America, rent goes up how much?
I think it was like 2% or 1%. 1%. Because it was 20 and 20. 20 million illegals, 20% rent increase. Or something to that effect. I don't know where the statistic came from. Again, I saw it in passing as I was doing my normal show prep.
It's hard for me to fact check that, but let's just say it's true for the conversation.
And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. If it's not true, feel free to call in and tell me it's a BS statistic that someone pulled off of Facebook. I'll believe you. But
plus you can make something look like anything with
But there are people that would
studies.
make that argument, right? But the deeper problem, right, is the immigrants come in, and aside from the welfare, right, they add an immediate burden onto the economy because they need housing, they need food, right, they need clothes, they need all the basic necessities. And if your little area, like the North Rogers, right, they've got their stock, they know how much to order each week, and they're not ready to handle the influx of demand on the local economy. So they don't like it, right? Like, oh, these people are coming in and now I'm running out of stuff that I would normally sell to my locals.
Gotta have mediocrity.
Right. But what happens over time, right, is like the businesses who are serving this local economy will order more product, right? And the prices may go up temporarily in the beginning, but they will fall or reach a new equilibrium, right? And if you allow, if you're not one of those, NIMBY people who is, in favor of regulating the housing market and zoning, right, then you'll allow houses to be built, in those areas to accommodate this influx of people.
And who's going to build them? Likely the illegals.
Yes.
Because the average
honestly, we need a
American
better
doesn't
word
want to
than
have a job.
Yep.
Just call them immigrants or migrants.
Yeah.
Like that's not a derogatory term. It's descriptive of what they're doing.
And the other thing about it is, I I just think that people just need to get their order of operations in order, unless you're just racist and just don't want Mexicans here. Because
That's what it is.
I talked to a lady from New Hampshire. A lot of these locals like to say, like, because Jeremy Kaufman's on Twitter being racist, that like, oh, we weren't even racist until the Free Staters got here. That's, in my opinion, not true. That's why I'm a little defensive about what you're saying at the beginning. It's not that there aren't some, but that's not true. Like, there are racists everywhere, and the people who came up here for the Free State Project who are being racist on the internet is because they're narcissistic ideologues.
And they were already racist. Now they have an excuse to justify it.
It has something to do with being a libertarian. And they also, like, these ideologue types, they feel like I can make any kind of utopia I want. Like, the world is in my hands, like, because they made something get done in New Hampshire. They put in a bill or something. And my thought process on this is to say that, there was this woman arguing with me about, like, back to Texas. Even though I'm a military brat, I should be able to choose whichever state I want to live in. My dad was in Iraq for 2 years of my life. I'm talking their language, like, shouldn't I be able to choose whichever of the states my dad fought for your freedom in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm only not from here because I'm not from anywhere. But anyways, my thought process
and open borders allows you to migrate within the country.
Right. And the thing about it is that lady was saying, like, go back home, and I was just like, well, honestly, you know what, lady? I actually like it in Texas more. I'm only here for the Free State Project because I like human freedom, but I actually would love to be around more Mexicans. And she was like, said something really racist about Mexicans to me. I don't remember what it was. And it's just like, oh, that's what it's about to you, lady.
Yeah. Well, the white population is declining in New Hampshire and Maine, right? But they will attribute that usually to the importation of migrants as opposed to free travel amongst willing voluntary individuals.
The other thing about it is, if we ended welfare and if we ended welfare, it would end the situations where there are these, non-governmental organizations that just seek to, for whatever the heck reason, I don't know,
Yes.
just ship people in who don't, like the people who don't already have a type of personality that I want to get somewhere better for my family and do a job.
Right. It's a
That would
compounded
be
government
going
issue
down.
because it's not just the
Yes.
welfare,
Mm-hmm.
right? They come here to make a better lives for themselves, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
They're not allowed to work.
Mm-hmm.
They are allowed to get on welfare.
Yes.
What option do you think they're going to choose? So you have to, like, get rid of the welfare and let them work freely and voluntarily for any employer that will hire them, or reduce the burdens for them starting their own business.
And what really makes me mad is a lot of people don't realize that, like, it's actually harder for somebody who just simply crosses over or overstays a visa to get on welfare. So it's a lot easier for these people that just get brought in with an NGO, and they don't even know who they're actually mad at. Like the Mexicans who are up here with, like, some of the hardest working people I've ever met.
Everywhere.
More Free Talk Live coming up, 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live. More coming up. Call in about whatever's on your mind.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too,
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue,
Besides,
Washington.
we just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
From Feature Story News in San Francisco, I'm Ira Spitzer with a look back at some of the week's top stories. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew of the British royal family, was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It relates to his time as trade envoy and the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been charged and has long denied any wrongdoing. FSN's Ollie Barrett has more from London.
What police are further saying is that this is part of an investigation now, they confirm. The reason that is significant is that previously Thames Valley Police had simply said they were assessing claims that had been made to them about the potential of misconduct in a public office. They've now confirmed a formal investigation is underway and an arrest has been made. They say the arrest was made on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and they say they're also carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's sweeping tariffs on global trading partners are illegal. In a 6-3 ruling, the court determined that the tariffs didn't have the proper authorization from Congress. FSN's Nick Harper has more from Washington.
This ruling is a tremendous blow for the US president and a rare rebuke of his presidential powers. 6 out of the 9 justices saying that they did not believe he had the legal authority to impose tariffs, instead saying that he must have congressional authorization. They said that he had tried to assert extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration and scope. He has reacted by calling the ruling a disgrace, but also saying he has a backup plan. It is likely the White House will look for other ways to reimpose these tariffs.
India joined the U.S.-led AI infrastructure initiative called Pax Silica, which is widely seen as a countermeasure to China's dominance over the supply of key materials used in the industry. It came as top U.S. companies pledged to invest billions of dollars in India during an AI Impact Summit. FSN's Ishan Garg has more from New Delhi.
India joined the Pax Silica initiative on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit, ending speculation over whether trade tensions were getting in the way of broader cooperation between Washington and New Delhi. According to the US State Department, Pax Silica is aimed at bringing friendly countries together to reduce what it calls coercive dependencies. The initiative was launched in December last year with countries including the UK, Australia, South Korea and the UAE as its first few members. With India pitching itself as a key AI power during the AI summit, analysts say the move not only highlights New Delhi's role on a global stage, but also signals thaw in US-India ties.
From Bureaus Worldwide,
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live. Welcome back to Free Talk Live. 603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. And I'd like to thank David for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that David went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to David and everyone who supports us. And again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie,
Riley O'Bell,
and Richie Rich.
And looks like we have a unscreened caller on the line. So, caller, what's on your mind?
You know, when you use efficiency and prosperity as an argument for immigration, and the profit and loss incentive to argue how roads are provided in a market system, you need to be aware that these arguments can be used to argue against libertarianism itself as being
when
good.
When did we say anything about the roads, please? And what did we say about the roads?
No, just in the past, I've heard Rich in particular argue that the profit and loss motive will help build roads in their society. But that's not my point. Did you see my point? My point is that
people should be free to move regardless.
Oh. Yeah, okay. So if you don't use the efficiency argument, like if you use freedom as the basis of your argument for immigration, even in ANCAP theory, right? Freedom is on the ownership level, not the individual level.
Go on.
You understand that? Like, freedom only applies to the owner, right? And if the owner is a group of people, like, it gets more complicated. as far as freedom.
It's a little,
which is also why we reject your 300 million people own the United States collectively.
It's also wrong to say that freedom only applies to the owner of anything. Like the people who are living on you, like let's say I own a house and Riley rents it. His human rights don't disappear just because I'm not saying that he has any kind of right to my land. It's just that you go above and beyond with that, and I got to point that out.
They become positive rights if there's an obligation on the owner's behalf. So what human rights are you referring to? That's why I'm asking. What human rights? His
just to human freedom, to the ability to leave. All of those things still apply. It's ridiculous to say freedom only applies to owners. It's not true.
So let's take the ability to leave, for example. So in all practicality, you need a pathway. You need use of the land to exit. Right?
So you should be able to kidnap somebody because they're in your house and you don't want them to walk through your hallway to get out?
If you apply ANCAP theory rigorously, that's a yes. Like all the rules are by the owner.
Okay, so it's a possibility, and it's just one that I reject. So a long time ago, Jesse Ventura was on some news network show, and he said, well, I reject libertarianism when it comes to ownership of the roads because I don't want a toll booth at every house, which is theoretically possible, right? But I don't think anybody wants a toll booth at every house.
Wouldn't think so either.
And I would think neighbors would come together and say like, hey, if you don't put up a toll booth, I won't put up a toll booth. And then everyone just travels freely, so no one has to manage this burdensome toll booths at every property line.
People like Skeeter just don't have imaginations that are strong enough.
So when it comes, to that property, Skeeter, what I think is people will come together as a group or as a community and just eliminate those obstacles because they're inconvenient for everyone. And in a marketplace, like that's not what people would demand.
Yeah. And so how do you reason out what they're going to eliminate and what they're going to adopt, right? If you use the profit and loss incentives, don't even worry about toll booths. You're going to have to worry about a constant auction on property, whether you like it or not as the current owner of your property.
No, right? Because I'm not going to put my property up for auction.
Yeah, what do you even mean?
It doesn't matter what you want. It's what you can enforce, right, Rich?
Yes.
That's the positive definition of property.
And I don't think that my neighbors are going to be making daily attempts to steal my property.
Why are you saying that? That wouldn't even be okay under libertarian principles. So what are you even talking about? Like, why are we arguing about this? Like, none of the four of us think it's okay to sell someone else's house. Are you trying to say that a libertarian thinks it's okay to try to
No, Skeeter does think it's okay. That's part of his like.
No, he's trying to say under libertarian philosophy, that's what would happen. Yeah, people are going to commandeer Richie Rich's house and try to sell it daily. What are you even talking about?
I didn't say that. I said in a market system. Like if you were to really truly leave the system up to the market, this is what would be adopted, right? Not libertarianism. So I'm saying libertarianism won't be adopted by the market.
And I reject I reject that the auction system is what would be adopted. Like a chronic option. Oh. Nobody wants that.
Okay, number one.
You move to a place like, I'm going to settle here. This is going to be mine forever, right? Not that I'm going to have to constantly thwart people bidding on my house.
So
nobody
here's what's wrong with your analysis, Rich. Here's what's always wrong with your analysis, like this type of analysis. You're not doing a complete cost-benefit analysis, right? Number one, as Glenn Weil has shown, right, in his book, Radical Markets.
I'll take your word for it.
This type of system will increase GDP by 40%, right? So so you're not doing a complete cost. You're only looking at this from a victimhood mentality, which is what you guys are drowning in your
it's not a victimhood mentality in your
echo chamber of ANCAPism, right? What?
It's not a victimhood mentality. I've told you this multiple times on multiple shows. It's a difference of values. Right? You're the one who values profit and loss. Libertarians value freedom.
Skeeter, stop. You got to say a lot. Let him reply.
No, he's interrupting. I didn't even tell him how he's wrong yet. So here's how to do a complete cost-benefit analysis. Not only do you look at it from a victimhood perspective, like when someone bids on your land without your permission, but you have to look at the gains from number one when you bid on land that you can use that the seller doesn't want to sell. And
I'm not going to bid on land that someone's not selling. That's stupid.
More importantly, when you're not a part of any of the theft. You are a beneficiary every time property is transferred to a more productive person. And my system is more complex than Glenn Wiles, right? This is what I want to talk about last time. It's not just a high bidder system. It's
both of your systems are garbage.
It's a comparative high advantage high bidder system. What was the most profound thing you learned in college in economics, Rich?
Wait, I have a question really fast. Do you think that if this was the system and your house was the one getting sold, everywhere you moved your house was getting sold, that you would still be like, this is the most perfect system, actually? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't believe you.
It would be. I would be okay. Well, I would be okay with that. So in my comparative advantage system, this would necessarily give me property where I best maximize total productivity for society.
And again, it's fine that you believe that.
I should not.
But you're arguing against libertarians who don't value that. We value freedom, and it's not the same thing.
In a market. So this is where I was trying to get to last time. It doesn't matter what you want. It's what you demand in a market, what you can pay for. And when someone can outbid you for property, you cannot pay to keep that property. You understand that? That's a market system. This is supply and demand analysis.
And I asked,
not religion.
When we went off the air last week, I asked a question, and I'll ask it again for you. If someone bids on my property and I bid against them, who gets the money?
In the event nobody. Well, it's in my system,
the example that I gave last week. I'll make it simple for you. The example that I gave last week.
No, it's not.
I own this water bottle, and Riley bid $10 for this water bottle.
Yep.
And I counterbidded Riley $11 for this water bottle, which is mine and in my possession. If I counterbid Riley at $11 for my water bottle, does Riley get the $11?
No. Let me just change my system to a high bidder system to make it less
answer my
complex.
question.
No, I have to change it because if I'm going to analyze this under my system, a comparative advantage bidding system, it's going to be a lot more. I need to ask a lot more questions, like what's your next opportunity cost? So for just simplicity, right?
Plastic cup.
Yeah, for just simplicity, right? Because what else can you spend the money on that you would have used to bid up? So first,
for my $11, for my $11,
it's not going to be. I'll go to McDonald's, right? In this case, we changed the high bidder system. You have to be the highest bidder.
I am. I outbid Riley by $1. Who gets the money?
Nobody, unless he goes to war with you, unless he tries to take it from you.
So your high bidder system is functionally useless because I, as the owner of my water bottle and any other property you want to bring up as an example, can just outbid anybody who's putting in a bid for it. If nobody gets the money, I just keep the property.
No. So the high bidder
who gets the money?
Indicates you're willing the maximum you're willing to spend to keep the property. This indicates what you're willing to spend if you guys go to war.
And for this water bottle, I'm willing to spend $11, and Riley was only willing to spend $10. So I keep the $11 and I keep the water bottle.
So
yes or no?
So at that point, both parties know what each other is willing to spend. Now, if you just use regular reason, right? What happens if you go to war? You guys know each other's budget on the war, right?
Well, yeah, but now the cost of that is death, right? Like someone's going to die over this water bottle.
So when you guys, here's my assumption. When you guys go to war, what happens is the budgets go to war with each other. So if you like, let's say, bid $100, he bids $1, the war's going to be short. He's going to spend $1 and he's going to concede, right?
Okay.
And then will Richie Rich have to give him $10, Alvin?
Wait, what you also can expect is that those two, if you guys really do go to war, those $2 will just waste that amount of resources. What was your question?
Which is a good financial reason not to go to war, right? Because it's destructive to the economy.
You know, I'm tired right now of this little conversation. I have to say that if we lived in a full like an extreme market society, what you're talking about, where people start trying to sell my house, they're going to stop really fast because I'm going to kill the people that come and try to take me out of my house. So don't you think
How can you?
How can I?
With a gun, dude.
You couldn't stop a bear cat, could you, from taking Ian?
Did you?
Oh, so every
Did you
single
stop the
time
Bearcat?
somebody sells somebody else's house, they're going to come with the Bearcat, where only 2 exist in New Hampshire.
It could be the
every
case. You
single
could
time.
be sitting on oil
Well, if we
deposits
live
for
in
the cure
such
for cancer.
if we live in such an intense free market society, then I'll buy my own Bearcat first once somebody starts threatening to buy my to take my house.
Good. You'll have to justify that with your productivity with the piece of property. Then you could justify that.
No, I
purchase
won't, because there will
through
be no
profit.
talking.
You
It will
can't.
be, come take me out of my house and I kill you. Just like I've always said, if somebody wants to come take my dog, I'll kill them. And people be like, hey, a human life is worth more than a dog, so you can't. It doesn't matter. To me, I will kill you if you try to come take my dog.
This is also where collective defense comes in,
Mhm.
right? If a bandit rolls into town and takes Bonnie's property, right, and Bonnie goes to her neighbors, which she's on a good relationship with, because this is a community of people who like each other
Mhm.
and have respected each other's property rights up until this point,
Mhm.
goes like, hey, this bandit just stole my property. He's probably coming to yours next for his expansion.
Wrong.
We should probably get together and kill him collectively.
No, Skeeter's right.
That's
They're
a
all going to see, all
non-sequitur.
my neighbors will see how their house
That's
is
a-
being stolen
that's a
too. We'll make a big
non-sequitur.
giant mall, and that will make more money for the economy,
Right.
and they'll
No.
all say, let's do it. Let's
No,
give them, we'll
you'll
give
get
them
your
our house.
neighbors together.
So when
You'll
you-
run
when
the
you look
gang
at
out
threats-
as best you can, or string them up.
No, that's wrong. That's a non sequitur.
No.
The first thing you
It's
look
not
at
a
is
non
what-
sequitur. It's a legitimate
Yeah, it is,
possible
because
outcome
the first thing you look
for this
at
garbage
when you're
scenario
looking
you've
at
created.
Possible threats. When you're looking at possible threats, you need to anticipate what the reasoning is for taking the property. If the
No,
reasoning is
I don't.
to
I don't care what the
maximize total
reason is.
productivity in society, that's a good thing, right?
So
If
you're just going to sit
lowering
there and be like,
prices
you know
for me,
what? It's a good
why
thing I
would
got
have
kicked
a
out of my
problem
house.
with
It's
that,
fine.
right?
No.
Also, again, you're not doing a complete cost benefit analysis. This also gives you the right to bid on property that the current owners don't want to sell. You're only looking
What if
at
I
it
lost
from
my
the
whole
victim's
entire
from the
ability to
victim's
make money
perspective.
because it was all inside my house? What if he took all the things inside too? And I don't have any money to, oh, this is good for
Well,
me because
and
now I
as-
can go get someone else's house.
As a matter of principle, libertarians aren't going to do that because we value property rights and respect for the property of others.
I think
So if their house is not for sale, we're not going to try to outbid them and compel their sale.
Yeah.
That would be a violation of our principles.
this is a ridiculous conversation, and honestly, Skeeter sounds sick and it's kind of grossing me out. So goodbye, Skeeter. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
And in the last segment, we started just
We're going to go to war over my water bottle, Riley.
yeah, I was laughing.
Because I outbid you by $1, and you really want this water bottle.
That's so stupid. I just go buy my own damn water bottle.
Yeah, for $10, I'm sure you can. That's another thing that's stupid. It's like maybe somebody's gonna like, oh, I want to buy that house that man's not selling, but I don't care. But it's like with the same amount of money, they can have less stress by buying a house that's not already under somebody's feet.
Well, and it's okay. It's already okay to make an offer, right? Like I used to work, I used to work at a storage facility, and multiple times throughout the week, I'd get mail from real estate people, real estate buyers, and they would be like, "Hey, I'll give you cash for your house or for your property. Let's talk about it if you're looking to sell." Right. And maybe someone comes to you, Bonnie, and goes like, "Hey, I really want this house. The market says it's, I don't know, like 250,000. I don't know what the market says for Keene in this area, but I'm willing to give you 350,000 for it because I really want this house." Right. You can then take that offer and do
Make
what
a
you want
cost
with
benefit analysis.
it. Right. And maybe you take it because you're going to net $100,000, and with that 350, if you're not tied to this location, you'll go find a better property for 350 and move there. All right. There's nothing wrong with making the offer.
Yeah.
Right.
Not even immoral.
But to compel it and say well, Bonnie, if you don't outbid him, right, then he gets to take it is nonsense
Yes, I agree.
and should not be part of any reasonable, rational economic theory, no matter how many books you've written on the subject.
Or read on the subject.
Yeah, there you go, too. That too.
Yeah, I don't think everybody disagrees with me about Skeeter. My image of him is that he's like a skinny type of loser in his mom's basement. Everybody else is like, I think he's like 400 pounds. I'm like, no,
Okay.
I think he's like weak and little. And my point about it is he's not going to compel anyone to do anything.
No, he's not.
I may have.
Bearcat.
I may have doxed him a little bit accidentally. I'm not going to share too much, but if the person I found is actually Skeeter, he's like a computer programmer,
Skinny.
by trade somewhere in
I
California.
think I'm right. I
Yeah.
think I'm right. Well, we have another caller on the line. Sarah in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, our legislature was a lady legislature, Romero was saying that, Epstein picked our state, New Mexico, to come here and set up shop. Like, this is like, New Mexico's like human trafficking state.
I believe it.
I really believe so.
Okay. What is your evidence aside from that a lot of human trafficking goes through New Mexico?
She has said that a lot. I kind of just took her word for it before. I never really thought about it.
Yeah, remember that, what is that, 13 murdered and buried women? They're still trying to look for...
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that...
So in New Mexico, not far from where Epstein's estate was, the, what do they call it, Zorro Ranch.
Okay.
There were these 13 women, all similar descriptions, similar ages, buried out in the desert, found, and they wouldn't have been found except like one of these developers that we were like talking about at the beginning of the show were trying to build a house there, and they had to break ground, and they found like this like mass grave of women, and people think there might be more because I think they had already started building, so there might be more underneath houses.
Is that part of like the new buyer of Epstein's estate not allowing them to search for buried bodies? Is that related?
I hadn't heard of that.
Okay.
No, that Epstein was up in Santa Fe. This is in the west side of Albuquerque. The west side was not developed.
Okay.
So they're two different things, and they're still looking for the murderer because I think they're saying that it's a group of people. But see, these kind of things happen, and nobody cares. Like 13 women disappeared like in 10 years, and they only care
that's
about
barely
it.
a news article.
Yeah, I was like,
a little more than one a year.
Not that many, honestly, but I think the idea is that there is very likely more, but they already got built on top of.
Okay.
And just the fact that it was right by Epstein's old ranch, it's like very possible he was the one putting them there,
Well, I'm sure there's government statistics somewhere on missing persons reports.
Yeah, I can look
unsolved
it up
cases.
while you guys talk if you want.
Yeah, it's not that important. I'm just saying, like, is it statistically higher in New Mexico? Sarah?
Well, one of the things, remember that article? There was a woman being trafficked at Motel 6 in Albuquerque, and she was going to sue Motel 6. And I think, because she was getting beat up by the pimps at the in the office, in the lobby, and then like all the workers were like, like, I didn't see nothing, I'm not hearing nothing, I really don't care.
As a person who worked at the front desk of a hotel, you don't want to get killed over somebody doing something crazy in your lobby. I'm just going to be honest. You don't want to get involved yourself to get killed. Call the cops after, maybe. But I'm sorry, if somebody's getting beat in my office, I'm going to go hide.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to share what you made, but a front desk worker, is that like a high-paying position?
Oh, I worked on military bases, and being front desk, doing it for several years, and doing the night audit too, which makes you get more. I was being paid like $13.50 an hour in 2019. But off military bases, I tried to, once I moved to Texas, try to apply to other ones. They were paying only $9 an hour. I was like, I can't do this job for $9 an hour, even in 2019.
That's fair.
It's a lot of work.
That's definitely fair.
You do the front, but then it's on top of that, like somebody comes to the front, they're like, we don't have any towels, and I want you to kill a wasp in my room. You do all kinds of things all day. So no way I would jump and get your pimp off you for $9 an hour. Hell no. But
Bonnie was spoiled to the employment of government work.
It wasn't a government job.
Subsidized employment on the military
It
base.
actually wasn't a government job. Maybe the government somehow feeds into why you pay more, but it was IHG. Just gotta say. I never had a government job. Well,
but I'll ask you, do you think this would be going on in the state of Oklahoma, for example?
Probably.
What about Texas?
Probably.
They're being filmed.
I did look it up if you want me to look at this. It says New Mexico has one of the highest rates of missing persons in the U.S., particularly concerning the disproportionately high number of missing and murdered indigenous persons. Oh, that's big in Canada, too. Data indicates an estimated average annual rate of 4.5 missing persons per 10,000 people, which jumps to 9.1 for AI/AN, which is American Indian and Alaskan Native individuals. Dang! That's a lot. In this here, that sounded funny. This thing here says number one is Texas. Number one is California, then Texas, and New Mexico isn't even top 10.
Really?
So I'll answer Skeeter's question. I know it sounds weird for me to say that. He said, like, what is one of the biggest lessons I learned in college economics? And the answer was statistics can be misleading because there's always going to be a place with the highest rate of whatever, right? There has to be. Like where is the highest rate of cancer amongst the population? I don't know, but that place exists.
Yeah.
Right? What state has the highest rate of missing persons? Well, it's going to be one of the 50, right? Like statistically, it's going to be. Whether or not it's important enough to talk about, like, is it significant? Like 4.5 people per 10,000? I don't know, right? But if New Mexico is the highest, there has to be a highest, and if it's New Mexico, fine, right? There was someone posted again on social media, like, what is the Free State Project going to do about the high property tax rate in New Hampshire? Because it's like the highest, one of the highest in the nation, like the 4th highest, right? But it's like 1.6% or something like that. And New Jersey was the highest at like 2.11%, right? You're talking about like fractions of a percent separating these, and it's like it's only 1.6%. So is that really that bad?
I was also looking at the wrong thing. I don't know what that was about Texas. I just don't have time to backtrack and look at what the heck I was looking at. But in reality, it's Alaska. Makes a lot of sense because it is weird.
Indigenous people?
It's a big problem. It's almost like, makes me think it's like almost like nearly like supernatural. Like they want them for like their blood or something. It's
They're still
weird.
doing Native American rituals.
Well,
Seriously.
Alaska is one of the weirdest places because I think the biggest city there is like Fairbanks.
That's where I was born.
Or is it Anchorage? I can't remember which, but
Juneau,
a lot of it is just wilderness, and people could just disappear out
the
there.
second one's Arizona, then Oklahoma, then New Mexico / Montana, which are tied.
So it's not. So Oklahoma is worse than New Mexico, even in Sarah's
doubly
concern.
as worse as New Mexico for some reason.
There you go. So Oklahoma is worse, Sarah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think a couple of years ago they were gonna charge the human traffickers of the illegals, the cartels or whatever.
Hey, Sarah, sorry, I gotta stop you there. We can talk more about this if you want to hold on the line, but more Free Talk Live coming up, 603-283-6160 if you want to get in on the conversation with us at 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in San Francisco, I'm Ira Spitzer with a look back at some of the week's top stories. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew of the British royal family, was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It relates to his time as trade envoy and the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been charged and has long denied any wrongdoing. FSN's Ollie Barrett has more from London.
What police are further saying is that this is part of an investigation now, they confirm. The reason that is significant is that previously Thames Valley Police had simply said they were assessing claims that had been made to them about the potential of misconduct in a public office. They've now confirmed a formal investigation is underway and an arrest has been made. They say the arrest was made on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and they say they're also carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's sweeping tariffs on global trading partners are illegal. In a 6-3 ruling, the court determined that the tariffs didn't have the proper authorization from Congress. FSN's Nick Harper has more from Washington.
This ruling is a tremendous blow for the US president and a rare rebuke of his presidential powers. 6 out of the 9 justices saying that they did not believe he had the legal authority to impose tariffs, instead saying that he must have congressional authorization to exercise this power. They said that he had tried to assert extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration and scope. He has reacted by calling the ruling a disgrace, but also saying he has a backup plan. It is likely the White House will look for other ways to reimpose these tariffs using other means.
India joined the U.S.-led AI infrastructure initiative called Pax Silica, which is widely seen as a countermeasure to China's dominance over the supply of key materials used in the industry. It came as top U.S. companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google pledged to invest billions of dollars in India during an AI Impact Summit. FSN's Ishan Garg has more from New Delhi.
India joined the Pax Silica initiative on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit, ending speculation over whether trade tensions were getting in the way of broader cooperation between Washington and New Delhi. According to the US State Department, Pax Silica is aimed at bringing friendly countries together to reduce what it calls coercive dependencies. The initiative was launched in December last year, with countries including the UK, Australia, South Korea and the UAE as its first few members. With India pitching itself as a key AI power during the AI summit, analysts say the move not only highlights New Delhi's role on a global stage, but also signals thaw in US-India ties. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
From Bureaus Worldwide, this is FSN. 11 people were arrested in France over the recent killing of a far-right activist. Quentin Duronc died after sustaining a severe brain injury when he was attacked on the sidelines of a far-right protest against a left-wing politician speaking in the city of Lyon. FSN's Ross Cullen reports from Paris.
The 23-year-old was part of a group providing security for nationalist activists who were demonstrating against the leftist gathering at a university in France's third biggest city of Lyon. Video footage of the attack on the 12th of February shows a group of people setting upon Quentin Duronc, who was kicked multiple times before being left lying on the sidewalk while those involved in the attack fled on foot. The incident has fueled tension between France's far right and hard left ahead of local elections in March and next year's presidential race, in which the Nationalist Party is currently leading the polls. Ross Cullen, Paris.
U.S. civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, died at the age of 84. He was one of America's most influential black figures and twice ran for president. FSN's Tony Waterman has more.
He was this towering figure. He was a protege of Martin Luther King Jr. He was there when King was assassinated in 1968. He was, in fact, very close to him when that happened, physically, just a couple of feet away. But he is really seen as carrying on the fight for Black Americans. He transformed American politics, particularly the Democratic Party, by empowering these marginalized communities through his coalition, getting millions and millions of Black, Latino, and Asian Americans to register to vote and completely reshaping the face of the Democratic Party.
Those were some of the week's top stories. Ira Spitzer.
In addition to creating a Twitter account, Pope Benedict XVI plans to further connect with Christian youth by giving up on Catholicism. Quote, in order to really relate to modern teens, he needs to make religion a much smaller part of his busy life, just like they do. And it's already working. Tweets like, "Can someone go to church for me, LOL, hashtag sleeping in," have been retweeted over 1 million times by lazy Catholic teens, while tweets like, "If God was real, how come there's so much murder?" and "I'm still Catholic, I just don't go to church or believe in Jesus," have been especially successful with college students who are questioning the church's teaching.
It's really cool to see that the Pope is as active on social media and as skeptical about God as I am. Look, he just tweeted, "I'm not religious, I'm spiritual." That's totally how I feel.
Pope Benedict's aides say his next project involves reaching out to Muslims by sitting down with Islamic leaders and proclaiming his undying allegiance to Allah.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. That's talk radio that you control, meaning you can call in about whatever's on your mind. You can change the topic. You can tell us we're wrong. Whatever you want to talk about is up to you. Free Talk Live, and the number is 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. And Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
LibertyMinded.com. I mean, Riley O'Bill.
And Richie Rich.
And we already have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones and to the fun. Rob in Vermont. Rob, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, thanks for taking my call here.
Thanks for calling.
So, House Bill 1675 in the state of New Hampshire. I don't know when this hearing is going to be, but they want creates a legislative commission with subpoena power to investigate New Hampshire coalition against domestic and sexual violence. They want to audit its use for public funds, limit funding to services that material benefit survivors, and remove the coalition from certain official state roles and committees.
So it's to it has the power to start an investigation on the police or government employees. Is that what you mean? Like, who would be being investigated?
Okay, well, it would be the Department of Child Welfare. It would be, police, I believe, investigations, and and then how these, how this coalition works.
I feel like it just adds another layer of bureaucracy.
I'm a little confused on what this is. Is people investigating like DCYF to make sure they're doing things well? Okay.
But it's another government coalition or government agency or government program that's going to be responsible. By the state,
so they might be just investigating themselves and finding out they did nothing wrong every day and getting paid for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I still think that it's important to talk about it because, think of how many people have been through the system, for stuff that they never really did.
Yeah. So abolish those programs.
Yes, that's what I agree. So
instead of House Bill to create more oversight, how about House Bill abolish Child Protective Services?
Well, I agree with that too, but you're still going to punish the people that committed the acts.
I don't think you need a separate agency for that, right? If what the parents are doing to the children are criminal, you've already got police,
right?
And if you abolish the police, right, then you'll have another mediation service, arbitration service, pop up in the free market because justice is in demand, right? And then someone will have to report them and take them in and vie for custody of the kids in some form or fashion. Otherwise, Like, I don't care enough to interfere with abusive parents. I just don't care about their kids that much.
And you don't want your money spent on that.
I don't want my money spent on it. Right. But if you do, right, then you spend your money to investigate these things, or hire someone to investigate these things, and do it in the free market.
Okay. All right. I think I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Right. And that would inevitably be the solution, right? Yeah. Like, I don't have to pay for these investigations, right? But if like an aunt or an uncle goes like, man, my brother's like whooping up on his kids, something needs to be done. Right? Well, then you call the investigative service, you pay them their fee, and see what they have to say.
Yeah, and especially if the state wouldn't make that illegal, because I bet right now a lot of the things an investigator could do would be illegal. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the other thing, right? Like, if in the free market, right, if you eliminate the state apparatus and you remove a child from this circumstance, right, you're going to be found guilty of kidnapping, right, unless you can like come up with a defense that says, nope, the greater good here was the removal of the child because it took them, it's the doctrine of competing harms, which exists within law enforcement, which is I broke the law because not breaking the law would be worse than breaking the law, right? So yes, I kidnapped the kid because him getting beat up and broken and battered and bruised, right, is far worse than me kidnapping him and taking custody. And if you can prove that to an arbiter, well, then you get custody. And the kid should be thankful for it if they're old enough to be thankful for it. And if they say, no, my uncle kidnapped me, I want to go home to my abusive parents, well, you got to let them.
Yeah, I heard a lady who worked for DCYF in New Hampshire talking once, and it kind of sickened me what she said, because she said one time she was driving a kid, and the kid was saying, the kid somehow saw some people in a family. The kid's like out the car window or something. Sorry, could see a family and said, "Why do they get to live with their parents and I don't get to live with mine?" And she was trying to explain to him, it or her, I don't know. It's because your parents neglected you. They had you all sleeping in the same bed. They didn't clean your house enough. And he was like, "Well, I don't care. I liked it. I want to go back." And she was just all, poor kid doesn't know any better. It's like, sounds to me like that kid just wanted to go back and doesn't mind sleeping in the same bed as all his brothers and sisters.
Sometimes families have a dynamic that is very different, and some people want to point themselves as the savior and say, "I'm going to go sin and save the family."
White knights.
Exactly,
Oh, yeah.
And she was making it sound like she was like the savior of this little boy, and it's like, no, sounds like you inflicted horrible trauma on him, and I don't know, maybe he was so young he just didn't know, and actually he was being like, beaten, but you'd think he wouldn't be like, "I miss my parents," if he was being beaten. I don't know. It's a little complicated, and I really wish we didn't have to live in this reality where people are tiny little incapable humans for like at least 12 years.
Well, that's a cultural thing too, right? There are other cultures where the children are much more responsible much earlier on in life and can do a lot more than American kids who are coddled.
Yes, it doesn't have to be 12, whatever it is. But
in general, the American culture is a coddling and overburdening and overparenting culture, for the safety of the kids, right? But doesn't allow them to like blossom and bloom into functioning members of society when they could have otherwise.
I agree. Well, anything else you think about this, Rob?
No, that's it. Thank you, Barney.
Thank you so much for the call, Rob from Vermont. And 603-283-6160 is the phone number, but Sarah called back, and Sarah, I didn't mean to hang up on you, so I'm going to let you have a second call because I didn't mean to hang up on you, and we were going to continue that conversation. Rich had more questions to ask you about the missing people conversation.
Yeah, because it's really interesting. This state is pathetic. Because 3 years ago, we're like, well, we find that if you're in trafficking, there's no statute, a code in our state that we could charge them with. But they actually had to write out a statute about 3 years ago. So when they found the traffickers... To charge who exactly?
The human traffickers. Okay, there's no kidnapping statute in New Mexico.
I'm just wondering, making sure, you're not talking about the people in the Hotel 6 who didn't do anything, are you?
No, I'm talking about just, those smugglers that they would catch them like...
like a coyote.
Illegal.
Oh, the people, Mexicans, let's say, bringing illegal Mexicans over the border, the coyotes?
Yeah, and then they were selling the kids and the minors, and when they caught them, it's like, well, we don't have any state statute. This happened about 3 years ago. Well, we had to write one up. I mean, that's how stupid this, how backwards the state has been. It's
I
like,
mean, they might have just been
responsible.
relying on federal statute, right? Because it's crossing state borders. That's usually federal purview. But at the same time, like coyotes often work within a voluntary realm, right? People want to cross the border. The United States provides no legal means of doing so. They take on the services of the coyote to help them get across, and then they count that towards like the human trafficking statistic, but it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
I've known people who were
It's a travel agent.
coyoted over here, and yes, actually, sometimes they were abused on the way over, but it's not. If they were abused every single time, then the parents wouldn't be taking the risk and sending their kids over. Like, I think a lot of the times they just get someone over and do the job they're supposed to do.
Yeah. And that abuse would be eliminated if it were legal,
Right.
Right, because you'd have more legitimate means of getting across, and abusive coyotes would be put out of business.
That's such a good point, and like adding new statutes is actually probably going to contribute to the abuse of these people, usually kids, getting brought over.
Well, I remember that a couple of, like 3 years ago, like the governor had to sign a new statute. I was like, oh, please. I was just listening, well, I'm not surprised. And how about our rape kits that go back 20 years? And they finally, 20 years, about like 20, thousands of them. And they're like, well, we have to test 400. Well, because these women got murdered. Not only were they raped, that maybe like 15, 13, and they got killed, or they had guns pointed to their head, they had knives out to their throat. Well, I think we have to test these rape kids. Never mind the other 15,000. We don't have money or the time to do that. So it took like 20 years to test these rape kids, and then they got rid of the statute of limitations for even grown-ups. We have that unlimited for minors. So if you were molested when you were 9 or 10, you had no idea what happened to you, and you're like 28 or 30, is like, oh, I got molested. Now I finally realized I'm going to say something, and the time ran out. But now they do that for just rape victims, because it only like took 20 years to test the kids.
So Sarah, since rape kits and things like this are such a big issue for you and you want them done, why don't you donate money to that cause? Because there are people out there who are willing to do these sorts of things.
Well, even if like a third-party lab decided we're going to test the rape kits for them, I'm pretty sure that the state would say, well, it wasn't our people that tested them, so it doesn't even count. Don't you think?
They usually contract to a third party anyway. The state's doesn't have the facilities internally to do this stuff.
Well, think about this. Like when you go get your parental DNA test, I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of. Like you go to get DNA tested to make sure you're the parent of a child before a divorce is allowed to happen.
Paternity test, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get your third party thing for your own peace of mind, but the state's only going to accept the one that is their lab. Like it's third party, it's not like a government lab, but I don't know that you can just go pay them.
It's their approved lab.
I just don't know that you can go pay them and make them, hey, jump me to the front of the line. I just don't know.
I don't know either.
Again, back to, why did Epstein come to the state? He just knew, like, I'm going to get away with everything. And they were saying that he strangled some anonymous, called in and did an email. Mm-hmm. They had like really like sadistic sex with these 2 foreign girls. They're from out of the country. He strangled them and they buried them in the Zorro Ranch.
Yeah, I've heard
and
this
then you know what? He has to be anonymous because he could have been like the person that had to do bury the bodies.
I doubt he'd bury the bodies himself.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my
He's
job
got
was
people for that.
bury those girls, and I have to keep my mouth shut about it. If you're knowledgeable of a crime, and if you don't report it, you're part of the crime, right?
Yes, complicit, an accessory.
Yeah, complicit crime, right?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that all of these emails that come out, the whole Epstein files, and how open they were talking about these things is pretty clear that they didn't care.
They thought they were above the law.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing, Sarah, is that he may have been doing that Zorro Ranch stuff in New Mexico, but he was also doing stuff in California. I think it was Palm Beach. He's also doing stuff in New York City and Florida. I don't think it's necessarily just a New Mexico thing, but I could see why I'd feel I'd feel kind of violated if I lived in any of those states. It feels a little weird that Ghislaine Maxwell came up here to, I think, like, I forget where.
Yeah, she came out in New Hampshire.
Yeah, to New Hampshire, but I forget which town that she was hiding in. And I looked up the term New Hampshire, and they were tracking one of her cards. She was spending her cards while she was on the run. She was spending them at things like the Common Man. Like things that we have heard of. Like, you know, the Hooksett Common Man truck stop.
Yeah.
She spent her cards there, and the FBI was emailing back and forth talking about, okay, we see a charge here. Okay, we see a charge there. There was one that was like Exeter dog grooming. Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
In 2019?
No. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Because that's what I don't know exactly when, but I moved here in 2018, and I, like, the first couple of jobs I got, like, working in kitchens were 2 Common Mans.
Dang.
And first one was the Hooksett truck stop one.
It's interesting because, it's kind of funny because everybody is looking up things that apply to them. Like, immediately when the Epstein files drops, first I was just like, I don't want to look at that. I feel like it's all fake. But the next day I was like, you know what? And I searched Free State Project, New Hampshire, Carla Garrick. I just looked up everybody that is like,
did you look my
relevant
name
to
up?
me.
Because I want to make sure I'm free from the Epstein files.
There's a bunch of people I still need to look up. Ian's in the files.
Really?
If you look up Ian Freeman, there's a thing where the FBI was sending themselves stories about the FBI that had come up in the last day, and one of them was Ian's story of the magistrate judge saying he had to stay in jail.
Okay.
That was the one instance. So his name's on the headline. That's all it is. But it's kind of funny to say.
It's going to blow up. Ian Freeman found in the Epstein files.
And so was Jeremy Kaufman.
Appeal denied.
For the same exact thing, Jeremy Kaufman was in there.
Really?
Yeah. It was
Wow.
like the day that he told the FBI to get away from his property when they came to his house.
Oh, yeah.
So that there was a headline about that. The FBI sent themselves an email about it, among other headlines.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not that serious, but it's kind of funny. But anyways, yes, I looked up me, I looked up Ian. Everybody's going to the Epstein files and looking up things that are relevant to themselves. And I think that's fun. I looked up Rogers Campground. I looked up Pork Fest, all that stuff.
You know what? I was thinking that New Mexico has always been this sex trafficking, like a pimp drug state kind of, because like nobody cared about the state. Like nobody knows about, like, didn't they keep this a big secret because of the White Sands, the Manhattan Project, and like everybody like
lots of empty space.
Yeah, like we're one of the states that everybody's like, well, they talk about Albuquerque. My Spanish teacher talk about it. It's like, well, where is it? She's like, what? I'm like, where?
That's ignorant.
And when
I know where
Santa
Albuquerque is. I've been there multiple times.
I would not be able to find it on a map unless it was labeled.
I mean, unless it was labeled, probably me too. I know it's in the middle of New Mexico, and I've heard of it. I was also shocked by how huge it is. First time I was rolling into it, and I'm just like, holy, there's lights everywhere because it was night.
Okay.
I was like, it was expansive. Not really tall, more just, whoa, lights everywhere.
Because it got a lot of space to work with. You don't have
That's
to
a good
build
point.
up when you can build wide.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, but this part, I was gonna say that Spaniards settled New Mexico as part of Mexico, and don't they have a Spaniards from a long time ago? They have abuse towards women, like women were like worthless.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's most cultures throughout human history.
Yeah, used to have that, sure.
Until a lot recent history.
Yeah, but wasn't the Celtics and the Anglos treated a woman a lot better? Like women became queens and stuff like that. They, you know, I mean, I don't think that you have that in like the Spanish culture where
there's been no Queen of Spain.
Were there?
I don't know. Wait, yes, there is. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Isabella, the one that said, "Hey, Columbus, go." Wait, or was that Italy? No, he was Italian, but Queen Isabella, was Spanish and commissioned him to go look at the New World, Columbus.
All right.
So there's definitely a queen then. You know, there.
Someone married the king, right?
Oh yeah.
But she also
she might not have been
power.
Spanish, right? Because might have been like Norwegian or whatever, whomever they were trying to like trade with at the time and get their political allegiances in order.
We just don't know the answer, so I looked it up and I said, were Spaniards worse to women than the Anglos? Not that this is really the most important question, but it says early Spanish expeditions were overwhelmingly male, leading to high levels of rape. Well, of course, because like as far as like to the indigenous women, yes, that's definitely true. The intersection of machismo and Catholicism, which viewed women as subordinate, normalized domestic abuse and sexual assault. It's not really comparing them to England. Okay, different.
This is why
settlement
teaching
patterns.
boys to be better won't work, and just wear a long skirt, ladies.
What?
Well, I have a theory that remember the Moors, the Arabs conquered Spain for 500 years.
That is the first thing that popped in my head, Sarah. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, I guess they did have a lot of Muslim influence. Not gonna lie.
Well,
It could be
you
true.
know
I don't
how
know.
Women get treated in the Muslim faith. Women are not really worth much.
They've been
And
treated
that's
poorly by everything, every faith, religious doctrine, country,
It's true.
creed throughout human history.
This just says these people are saying
That's what you get for being the weaker sex.
these people are saying that it
So now you're
seems
blaming women.
this is actually on Reddit. It says that
It's not- they can't do anything about it.
it may have seen that the Spanish were worse than the English, who later started selling to women in Americas because they didn't bring a lot of women with them. So they're doing like raping and pillaging.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the women with them. But like the English, by the time they're coming over, was later, and they had like their wives with them and stuff. So they're not gonna be like doing forced
Sure.
sexual relations when they have their wives with them. So I think that that's all it is. Maybe Sarah heard something kind of like this.
And there was a lot of aborted women in Asia when they had when China had the one child policy, or
Yeah.
people preferred men because
Aborted, thrown in
whatever, thrown in
heaps.
trash cans,
Yeah.
whatever. But the farming community preferred men because they could work on the farm,
They
whereas
also
the women
did it
couldn't.
in ancient Italy, where they would throw their baby girls into trash heaps or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was ancient Greece, but whichever.
I'm not condoning it,
Yeah,
but like facts are
and
facts.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I was told that this state has been like a criminal state. Like when the 13 colonies were being civilized, all the people that were going to get hung, they would run out to New Mexico, and as long as they made it here, they let them go. They just forgot about it.
Yeah, they're in like some
And
or not enemy, but they're in some civilized territory. Like they're just not going to spend the time to go find them and get killed by some animal.
Or indigenous people.
Or they had native wars going on. Get attacked by the tribe or something. Oh my God!
If a bandit leaves your community, you don't have to
You
go
win.
hunt them down.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's someone else's problem now.
I'm honestly, I wish we had a way to do something like that. Like when somebody does something wrong, sometimes the best thing would just be to like make them leave. Just make them go away. You don't have to kill them.
Yeah. Well, but again, the thing is they're going to go do it to somebody else next, right? But you can only run for so long.
Yeah, but I mean, now we have the internet. We could ruin their reputation online and get them out of our communities. But
China's social credit score.
sometimes it just happens too, though. Like sometimes somebody comes up here for the Free State Project, acts real bad, and they get run out. It's just natural,
Yeah. Or they just feel unwelcome and move to Shrewsbury.
Oh man.
If this is him, no.
I think that's probably why. Those are the reasons why this state has been kind of like a human abuse. Like this is you could, abuse women and kill them and bury them and kind of pretty much get away with it.
Honestly, maybe it does have a little something to do with the history. That I can't say that's definitely not true. I don't know, Sarah, but more Free Talk Live coming up, and you can bring up whatever's on your mind. 603-283-6160. If you're on the line now, just hold, and we will get you as soon as we're back. More Free Talk Live coming up. 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group, or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
From Feature Story News in San Francisco, I'm Ira Spitzer with a look back at some of the week's top stories. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew of the British royal family, was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It relates to his time as trade envoy and the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been charged and has long denied any wrongdoing. FSN's Ollie Barrett has more from London.
What police are further saying is that this is part of an investigation now, they confirm. The reason that is significant is that previously Thames Valley Police had simply said they were assessing claims that had been made to them about the potential of misconduct in a public office. They've now confirmed a formal investigation is underway and an arrest has been made. They say the arrest was made on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and they say they're also carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's sweeping tariffs on global trading partners are illegal. In a 6-3 ruling, the court determined that the tariffs didn't have the proper authorization from Congress. FSN's Nick Harper has more from Washington.
This ruling is a tremendous blow for the US president and a rare rebuke of his presidential powers. 6 out of the 9 justices saying that they did not believe he had the legal authority to impose tariffs, instead saying that he must have congressional authorization. They said that he had tried to assert extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration and scope. He has reacted by calling the ruling a disgrace, but also saying he has a backup plan. It is likely the White House will look for other ways to reimpose these tariffs.
India joined the U.S.-led AI infrastructure initiative called Pax Silica, which is widely seen as a countermeasure to China's dominance over the supply of key materials used in the industry. It came as top U.S. companies pledged to invest billions of dollars in India during an AI Impact Summit. FSN's Ishan Garg has more from New Delhi.
India joined the Pax Silica initiative on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit, ending speculation over whether trade tensions were getting in the way of broader cooperation between Washington and New Delhi. According to the US State Department, Pax Silica is aimed at bringing friendly countries together to reduce what it calls coercive dependencies. The initiative was launched in December last year, with countries including the UK, Australia, South Korea and the UAE as its first few members. With India pitching itself as a key AI power during the AI summit, analysts say the move not only highlights New Delhi's role on a global stage, but also signals thaw in US-India ties.
From Bureaus Worldwide.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. That means that you can call 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. Are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites? Yes. Sorry, our Mastodon server at social. I said sorry to Riley because I muted him. I had censored him, sorry. While talking about censorship, I think he does that on purpose. Okay, our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Social.freetalklive.com. And now I unleash the people who have to be silent when I react.
You?
Free at
How
last.
dare you silence us?
Riley's voice is free at last.
Free at last, dude.
On Free Talk Live, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
And Richie Rich.
And we already have a caller on the line. It's our own Jay Noon in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta. What's going on down there? Because we hadn't really gone into it on the show, but yeah, there's like a cartel that's mad at the Mexican government there. So please tell us what's going on. What have you seen?
So I've been basically locked down in a house with a with a beautiful family down here, some expats from the North Country, and they would fit right in with our Free State Project. Anyways, 9:00 this morning, we're having some breakfast. Well, maybe it was 8. I don't know what time. It was like about 9:00, and one of the kids, the 10-year-old boy here, is like, "Hey, Dad, they don't shoot fireworks in the morning.
Dang.
Usually, and they got and this place here has they got a brick factory, and sometimes they got to close their windows because the brick factory next door will they're cooking down the mud, to harden the bricks or bake them basically. And so he's like, "Oh, it must be the brick factory." And I'm like, "Yeah, we usually hear fireworks." And I'm like, I just heard a gunshot while I'm talking to you guys from like right not far away.
Oh wow.
Anyways, I'm on the roof of their house, just hanging out. So I'm like, that doesn't sound like fireworks, because I heard it again. That sounds like, some rifle action, Yeah. And so we go up on the roof, and Bonnie, I don't know if I sent you the video directly, but I got a video that I've been only sending to a couple private friends because it's got, pictures of these people in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it basically did a 360-degree. Yeah, there's 2 more gunshots going. We just actually took a walk around the neighborhood. Everything's pretty quiet. They blow off fireworks a lot, but
I had
know
a
the
feeling it was
difference.
going to get worse at night. I was like, it might have gotten better in the middle of the day, but like it's going to be night at some point, and I had a feeling it's going to get worse.
So from what I understand, I talked to Danny Sessoms, from the Crypto Show. We talked a lot today because he's got a lot of Mexico experience, and he got caught right in the middle of that time when they arrested El Chapo's son. He was like right in the middle of one of these things, and they
2023.
they just stopped and. No, I don't know whenever that was. Yeah, I thought it was longer ago than that, but maybe, I don't know. But he was on his motorcycle. He was heading down here, to deal with the hurricane that was in Acapulco a few years ago when that happened. And he basically says they just go crazy for like a day, and then there's nothing, and it's quiet, and it takes like 2 weeks. It takes days to clean the streets up.
Dang.
So
it's horrible.
I'm pretty close to the airport here. And about 2 hours ago, I watched the first plane come in, and it was a private jet, and a small jet, and we can see the landing path. I can't see, we can't see where they're taking off from, but just as it was on hold, I saw like a big commercial airliner, land, and then we saw like 2 private planes land a couple hours ago. And my friend, the guy that lives here, he thought those were like official jets or government jets or something. Or somebody who's got some clearance, because the airport's like still technically closed. Although my flight, I'm supposed to leave tomorrow night, it's not canceled.
Oh.
But my flight from Phoenix to Boston's canceled because of a snowstorm.
Oh man.
So I gotta look
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I thought about all that. I was like, it's already going to be a horrible time to fly. Yeah.
So we come up on top of the roof, and I took a 360-degree video, and there is just stuff on fire everywhere. I still just to the south, southwest of where we are. I still see a bunch of white smokers remnants, and we just took this family every night after dinner. They take a nice walk around this beautiful neighborhood they live in. Just great. There's a lot of Canadian expats and European expats and Americans here, and then we went over to the little gas station, which is like, if you ran there, you could get there in a minute. It took us about 6 minutes to walk there. We walked a long way. And I got some videos and some pictures of it. I'll send them to you. But there's just these burnt out cars just sitting in the intersection. And we saw Apache helicopters flying overhead and flying around. I almost felt like I could have thrown a rock at it and hit it. It was that close.
Like that was the cartels doing that, or Mexican government?
No, that's Mexican military. It was all like, whatever, Marina Guarda, I think is what they call themselves. So it was pretty crazy. And actually the craziest story I heard about us that was kind of close to home, we had in Acapulco, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. I came down here with just myself. I was working for local Silver Mint with Silver Dave. We had a wildly successful time with, we're offering people to lease silver and stuff, or we're going to lease their silver, and we pay you 5% for your silver. So go to localsilvermint.com/BDA bullion deposit account. use your reference J on that if you're interested. Check that out. As we were down here at Anarchapulco, because a lot of people are smart and they got into crypto and they got into silver and stuff. So we came down here for that. But today was the Crypto Vigilantes Summit on Sunday, and the whole convention center went on lockdown. And as some people were leaving the convention center, the cartel right outside had the place. They were set up, and they stopped the cabbie. They told the people that were in the cabbie that were Anarchapulco attendees to get out, and then they just like put like a bunch of rounds. They shot the cabbie right in front of them. They took the passports from the people. They took their passports and all their luggage and everything, and then they torched the car. So what they were doing is they were basically. So there's like the cartel has a big like no touch policy on gringos, tourists, because if
they
a
don't want to
tourist
start
dies
something with the
around here,
American government when they already have something with the Mexican government. Is that what it is?
all of these problems exist down here entirely because the American government.
I agree. But I'm just saying, if they killed a gringo American while they're just mad at the Mexican government, then they'll have a problem with both. Isn't that not why they?
No, they don't want to kill the gringo Americans because half of the population, you walking around Puerto Vallarta, the gringo to Mexican ratio is like, walking around Florida and it's the white guy to black guy ratio. There's like no black people in New Hampshire, but Florida there's a lot of them. But it's like there's a ton of white guys here in Puerto Vallarta. And there's like probably more white people in this city than there are in a lot of the cities in America.
I don't know if I believe that that's the reason though, because it's like, yeah, but they're also not armed. They're people there from
nobody's armed here. That was the most scary thing about this situation. Like I was telling the people that we live with, I go, this couldn't happen in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
No freaking way. Because so I'm surrounded by all these like 3-family houses, and most of them are like 3-4 levels, and they're all every house here is bulletproof. They got 6-inch concrete rebar reinforced walls. They're all like massively. They can handle wicked hurricanes. Like all these houses around here on a roof, they got like a 4-foot concrete knee wall. Like these are all perfect sniper nests. And in New Hampshire, every window in every city, there's a sniper in it, quite literally, because everybody can have a gun in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
and that's why we went there for the Free State Project.
Jay,
I was like.
Jay, do you feel scared to have your family in Mexico at the moment?
So my family's not in Mexico.
Okay.
And I didn't feel scared until I heard somebody empty a magazine about. I wasn't scared, but I was like, I need to get the fuck off the roof. I'm gonna go back in now.
Yeah. Can't say that on radio, Jay. I didn't drop you, but I did press the button in time to drop it from our stations and everything.
I apologize. I'll tell you, I am rattled. I am rattled.
Yeah, sure. I am too.
I mean, there's like I didn't go see it, but like right down the road from here, there's just lines of dead bodies. Like, so what the cartel does is they just stop any car that they need to block an intersection or a truck, and if the guy's a Mexican in the car, they just kill him.
That's so horrible.
But with the taxi drivers. They tell the gringos to get out. They won't kill gringos. There's like the cartel. If you're a cartel member and you kill an American tourist, the cartel kills you. Is essentially what the what's going on here. You guys still with me?
Yes, yeah. I'm listening. It's just it's still so horrible. Like some man driving people around to make enough money for his family every day is getting killed for no reason.
So like
or woman, I don't know, but still.
So like, I've never really heard like actual like warfare combat in my life. Like Silver Dave has. For example, he did a lot. He's one of my best friends, and and we've talked a lot about his time over there. And like I heard it, like 100, like I don't know, a kilometer and a half away. So I'm not real far from the airport, and that's where a lot of action was at the airport because there's like a military depot over there. And it was crazy. But right before I cursed, I was saying, I wasn't scared, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm scared. I don't feel like that. I feel like we need to respond. We need to prepare. We need to hunker down, whatever, There was no response I could do because I don't have any guns. But I'll tell you what, like the people I'm staying with, I'm like, you guys got paper maps to this place? They're like, you can't get paper maps here. I'm like, all right. They got computers and a printer and stuff. I'm like, let's get on Google Maps and let's start printing up some maps of this place because we might have to evacuate. And I don't know my way around here. I want some maps. So we spent like about 4 or 5 hours, like really studying all the roads around here, the geography. Like basically, Puerto Vallarta is in a bowl, and it's surrounded by mountains, and then to the west is the ocean. So this is a hard place to escape. And what they ended up doing is they even like downtown, like my sister Lauren, some of you guys know her, myself, Lauren, Dave, a whole bunch. There's 30, 40 Free Staters or New Hampshireites, at Anarchapulco. So we all kind of had a signal chat group, and we're all chatting back and forth. And like Lauren and Colin, oh man, Colin got tons of videos. Colin started walking around the neighborhood out there at about 3:00 this afternoon. He's like, I'm more scared in Ware, New Hampshire, that I'm going to get pulled over for not having an inspection sticker on my car than I am walking around down here.
Wow. And
he's just taking videos of cars that are just torched. There's like a BJ's parking lot or something. I think it was one of those big box stores. And like a third of the cars are torched. I guess there was like Costco it was. I guess there was like a couple hundred people just sheltering in place in Costco all day long. But it's yeah. And then the cartel was like releasing messages. Anyone in Guadalajara, which is like the next big city over, that's on the street, you're going to be shot. Like everybody just staying in. One of the Anarchapulco attendees I met, she was going to a little CrossFit training place, and she was there when all this stuff happened. And everybody, as soon as all the locals, she's the only one there that wasn't a local. They just all left. Everybody ran as soon as they started hearing all the explosions and the gunfire. I heard like just automatic weapons, exchange, like a lot of it. It was hairy. And the smoke, I mean, just everywhere around me, like they're burning cars. So what they did is every intersection, they would I don't know if they killed you or they pulled you out of the car. I know they killed the cabbie because, and I don't know the attendants who got to see that horrible crap. But like, man, so we just walked down here and they strategically placed these cars so like the intersection was jammed up, and then they torch them. They take semi trucks and they get the guy out of the semi truck. And usually when the cartel, like pretty much everybody says, when a cartel guy says, get out of your truck, I'm cartel or car, you just do it. Because they don't ask twice. The second time they ask, they put a bullet in your head.
Okay.
And because the common citizens are not armed around here, there's nothing that can happen. I mean, if these people had the guns that we have in New Hampshire, this would never happen.
Yeah.
And actually, this would never happen if if Donald Trump actually cared about what was going on, and he's just part of the club, and he is, and he might be the least worst president of our lifetime, and that's all I'm going to give him. He freed Ross Ulbricht, but the fact is, these cartels have all this power because of the thirst for the sex trafficking and the drug trade, and the drug trade is fueled like 100% by the welfare state, and the sex trafficking is fueled 100% by wealthy pedophile baby eating elites that are cantillionaires. And if for our listeners who don't know what a cantillionaire is someone close to the Federal Reserve. So this is all and so we couldn't have a welfare state, and we couldn't have, baby eating satanic pedophiles without the Federal Reserve.
Yep.
What happened in Puerto Vallarta today, and this didn't just happen in Puerto Vallarta, except for Puerto Vallarta was the epicenter. And I did learn exactly why this happened this morning. So this could not happen except for the United States corporation has the exclusive monopoly and domination on creating money out of thin air, the central bank system. And because Donald Trump hasn't literally sent Blackhawks and tanks to just seize every asset and absolutely wipe out and destroy and just take down the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank, that means he's a fraud. And
Good point. He doesn't want to drain the swamp. Definitely not. That was a lie.
Sure.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Sure. And you cannot get into elected position in office. As far as I don't know how the hell Thomas Massey got into Congress, but it's like the prerequisite for all these guys is you have to be a pedophile. So that's the thing. The welfare state is created by fractional reserve banking. These ultra rich, Jeffrey Epstein's friends, they're all cantillionaires. They get their wealth from fractional reserve banking. And that's the problem. Now, what had happened is there is some very corrupt cartel guy. They did an operation this morning, early this morning to go grab them. And then I heard something about they burnt a church down. And then somebody
was that
said
in Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah, the church. Oh, the church was like right downtown Puerto Vallarta.
Wow. Okay.
Like literally, these guys are staying in like these, $500 a night hotel rooms, or are sending video of us or video to me, for example, of right in the street below. There's like 4 cars on fire at an intersection. There's buses on fire. It's going to be a mess to clean this place up.
Dang, I bet.
But anyways, they did an operation to arrest a guy, and he got killed. And this is what sent the cartels all crazy, kind of like with El Chapo's son, a few years back, where Danny Sessoms, went through that deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a couple of things. And like I've gone to Mexico the last 3 years, and it's been really nice and it's been beautiful. Right now, it's pretty peaceful. But the thing is to answer your question, Riley, yeah, I'd probably be scared and freaking out a little bit if I had my kids here with me.
Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that was like, a good thing that happened that way, even though you were upset or, sad at first that they weren't all going to be able to go. I think you were, maybe I'm wrong, but then it just ended up being the best thing for everyone.
Right. So like probably the most emotionally damaged people, they attended this event are obviously those folks that had their cabbie shot in front of them.
Yeah.
And like, I've been riding in cabs all week. These guys are sweethearts.
Aww.
And they're like, I'm talking to them about their kids and stuff. The guy was probably a dad. And, they're just working hard. But it's the American, and it's essentially the American, monetary policy creates these kind of things in countries like this. And and I can tell you, we did some preparedness. We prepared to evacuate. We started, there's like a ranch behind us, and I'm like checking everything out there on, on Google Maps. And I'm like, you guys got some wire cutters? We might need to cut some barbed wire fence to get through. You should be wearing pants. Don't wear flip flops. You got hiking boots. We printed out some maps. We printed out copies. I started packing my backpack with a bunch of like essentials. And there's actually a house that's being built right here. I was going to go see if I could find something that we can make some hand weapons out of, some pipes or something, something. And we got nothing here. I can't bring anything. I flew down here. I got like a little pocket knife. That's it. And even, what am I going to do against, a cartel dude that's, got high-powered rifles and bulletproof vests and, nothing with a, piece of rebar. And, but, I'm going to at least, we don't know. I mean, the best thing to do was just stay right here. And the thing is, they're just looking to send a message. So like, I just took a little video of this, these burnt cars, and we just saw a bunch of, what would be equivalent to state police kind of go rolling by. And somebody says to me, with us, oh, they probably don't want you taking videos. I go, no, they do want us taking videos. Because if they didn't want us taking videos, if they didn't want us communicating, if they didn't want us broadcasting this to the rest of the world, they would have just took out some cell phone towers.
Oh, yeah.
Internet was fine. The cartel wants to send a message. And as far as I'm concerned, the government wants this to happen so they can say, oh, we need to crack down on our cartels.
Yeah.
So actually, Canada might get real scary here pretty quick. Mexico, because when I come down here, I buy a local SIM card and I bring 2 cell phones with me, and then I'll take one cell phone. I'll put a local SIM card in it, and I'll use it as a hotspot. Like right now, I'm talking off a Wi-Fi connection, just Wi-Fi call.
That's interesting, too, because it sounds really good. I was afraid it would sound bad since you're just so far away, but it sounds good.
Actually, I think I'm working off a Starlink right here. But and like the people here, they're pretty good. They got like a Starlink and local internet. But we were working off both of them. They all worked fine. And so and honestly, today is like the first time I like really looked at my phone in like the last like 7 days. Because I've been busy. I've been doing stuff. And like I went to the dentist yesterday, and I had 2 rotted wisdom teeth, and I got them both pulled, and I had 1 cavity filled. It was $600 US. And the night before, I was on a dance floor with my dentist because she was at Anarchapulco. We had a big party Friday night, and we were all dancing together. And so what was I getting with this? But so I try to activate my SIM card, and it wants me to scan my passport or an ID. So it wants you to do full biometrics, and you got to click a button to you got to you got to agree to the terms. And usually when it says I agree to the terms of service, and then it says click here to read terms of service, what it said was I agree to the terms of service, and I give full consent. Actually, I think I took a screenshot of it for telco to have access to all of the data on my phone.
Wow.
To read the complete terms and service, click here. I was like, oh man. And so I had a phone that was like, it was, basically nothing on it. No like crypto wallet or anything. I cleaned both of my, I downloaded all the photos and cleaned my phones out pretty much. So I'm going to take a bunch of photos and videos, and I got a backup phone, and you kind of got to do the 2-phone thing, or you got to have an international SIM card or an international plan, which I didn't have. And then they want you to scan your ID, and then they have you take a picture, and then it has you activate the video on your phone and the selfie camera. And because I run these, de-Googled phones, you got to give a new app. You got to give it permission to activate use the camera.
Oh, it just got
and
really...
so once you...
Oh, well, we are going on break, but also it got like a little muffled there, but it stopped. But thank you for the call, Jay. More Free Talk Live coming up, 603-283-6160. Man, I wish nothing but the best for the amazing people of Mexico. It's so sad, so horrible, and I'm so glad Jay pointed out the very important point that the United States empire is usually the problem.
Free Talk Live.
I have been in the Central Square in Keene, New Hampshire with a group of people, and people have smoked cannabis there. If you don't want to inhale the cannabis, don't stand right in front of me as I'm smoking the joint. I'm not going to make an effort to blow anything in your face. That would be rude. That would be a violation of your personal space. But if you're downwind somewhere and you can smell the aroma of the pot being smoked, that in no way, shape, or form is having any effect on you.
What if they're standing 5 feet away?
You are being ridiculous.
No, I'm saying.
You are being ridiculous. The only way you're going to get high, sir, the only way you're going to even have a chance of feeling any sort of effect is if I go walk up right into your face and blow it up your nose.
Nice try, troll.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern at freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in San Francisco, I'm Ira Spitzer with a look back at some of the week's top stories. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew of the British royal family, was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It relates to his time as trade envoy and the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been charged and has long denied any wrongdoing. FSN's Ollie Barrett has more from London.
What police are further saying is that this is part of an investigation now, they confirm. The reason that is significant is that previously Thames Valley Police had simply said they were assessing claims that had been made to them about the potential of misconduct in a public office. They've now confirmed a formal investigation is underway and an arrest has been made. They say the arrest was made on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and they say they're also carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's sweeping tariffs on global trading partners are illegal. In a 6-3 ruling, the court determined that the tariffs didn't have the proper authorization from Congress. FSN's Nick Harper has more from Washington.
This ruling is a tremendous blow for the US president and a rare rebuke of his presidential powers. 6 out of the 9 justices saying that they did not believe he had the legal authority to impose tariffs, instead saying that he must have congressional authorization to exercise this power. They said that he had tried to assert extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration and scope. He has reacted by calling the ruling a disgrace, but also saying he has a backup plan. It is likely the White House will look for other ways to reimpose these tariffs using other means.
India joined the U.S.-led AI infrastructure initiative called Pax Silica, which is widely seen as a countermeasure to China's dominance over the supply of key materials used in the industry. It came as top U.S. companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google pledged to invest billions of dollars in India during an AI Impact Summit. FSN's Ishan Garg has more from New Delhi.
India joined the Pax Silica initiative on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit, ending speculation over whether trade tensions were getting in the way of broader cooperation between Washington and New Delhi. According to the US State Department, Pax Silica is aimed at bringing friendly countries together to reduce what it calls coercive dependencies. The initiative was launched in December last year with countries including the UK, Australia, South Korea and the UAE as its first few members. With India pitching itself as a key AI power during the AI summit, analysts say the move not only highlights New Delhi's role on a global stage, but also signals thaw in US-India ties. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
From Bureaus Worldwide, this is FSN. 11 people were arrested in France over the recent killing of a far-right activist. Quentin Duronc died after sustaining a severe brain injury when he was attacked on the sidelines of a far-right protest against a left-wing politician speaking in the city of Lyon. FSN's Ross Cullen reports from Paris.
The 23-year-old was part of a group providing security for nationalist activists who were demonstrating against the leftist gathering at a university in France's third biggest city of Lyon. Video footage of the attack on the 12th of February shows a group of people setting upon Quentin Duronc, who's kicked multiple times before being left lying on the sidewalk while those involved in the attack fled on foot. The incident has fueled tension between France's far-right and hard-left ahead of local elections in March and next year's presidential race, in which the Nationalist Party is currently leading the polls. Ross Cullen, Paris.
U.S. civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, died at the age of 84. He was one of America's most influential black figures and twice ran for president. FSN's Tony Waterman has more.
He was this towering figure. He was a protege of Martin Luther King Jr. He was there when King was assassinated in 1968. He was, in fact, very close to him when that happened, physically, just a couple of feet away. But he is really seen as carrying on the fight for Black Americans. He transformed American politics, particularly the Democratic Party, by empowering these marginalized communities through his coalition, getting millions and millions millions of Black, Latino, and Asian Americans to register to vote and completely reshaping the face of the Democratic Party.
Those were some of the week's top stories. Ira Spitzer.
After briefly reviewing several documents outlining his parents' dire financial circumstances today, 23-year-old Wesleyan University graduate Zach Wallace told reporters he had, quote, absolutely no clue how his mother and father are going to dig themselves out of the $35,000 of student loan debt they incurred to pay for his college education.
I mean, this is going to be really hard on my parents. When I was in college, I just assumed that, they would pay off my student loans within a few years of me graduating. But I never realized how expensive college is going to be for them.
Wallace, who graduated with a film studies degree in 2012 and has since had 2 unpaid internships, told reporters that from the way prevailing interest rates are trending, his parents could easily be paying off his debt for the next quarter century.
They're going to be paying for the rest of their lives. And on top of it all, they have to help me out with my rent, too. I mean, it sucks. It really, really sucks.
This is the Onion News Network.
We're still not sure why you'd want to watch, but our video feed is streaming nightly for free at cam.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
All right. Perfect.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill, and this time I wasn't censored.
And Richie Rich.
And so we were talking with Jay Noon of Free Talk Live on the air here. He's on the line because he's in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which is in Guadalajara, and it is currently a big hotspot as far as the I forget which, it's not Sinaloa, one of the cartels that's really mad at the Mexican government right now because the Mexican government killed one of their leaders, and this cartel they want something. So Jay, you wanted to talk more about how there is problems that you found out by having to get a SIM card while you were down there. Can you hear me?
So, okay. Yep. So I bought a SIM card.
Mm-hmm.
I put my phone, and last year I just put it in, and it turned on the phone, and it worked, just like when you put a SIM card in the phone. Well, this year I have to give them all my biometric data. So they want and to tell you that like a kilometer south of me, they just set another something on fire, and I heard one gunshot, and then about 10 seconds later another gunshot, which I'm thinking those are execution shots.
No, that's a good point.
So the gunfighting just started again. Basically, it seems like, or the gun shooting, and then directly to the west of me, it looks like there's another something set on fire. And, pretty dark over by the airport, so I couldn't tell if anything was burning over there. But so this biometric data, they want to have you scan your ID, take a picture of you, and then do a selfie video where you have to point your head down for 5 seconds, and then point your head up, and then look to the left and look to the right. And I actually tried doing this on my other phone because I needed to use a phone, and it wouldn't let me do it. And I think it's because I think it's because I have a privacy phone. So it's like your device doesn't comply with our blah blah blah. Instead, try a different device. So it was like whatever. I just stopped.
Dang. So they'll even know if your phone is too private for being able to extract your data. Wow.
That's crazy.
Are you there?
I'm pretty fast.
Oh, there you are.
So they're going to shut off every SIM card in the country doesn't have your biometrics registered with it on July 25th. And every new SIM card you get, you can't even use it until you activate your biometrics. And the next step after the cell phones is they're not going to let anyone, every single, like, essentially internet service, like at your house, has to have the same biometrics with it too. Another guy told me here a little while ago.
Wow.
And, you know, and what I'm telling you, I didn't read it anywhere. I don't know if it's a law. It's just, you know, it's people at Anarchapulco were talking about this stuff. So
And this is only Mexico, is that what you're saying?
Yep. Well, Mexico's a test ground, you know, for the New World Order here. They're going to see what they can do. The people aren't armed.
Well, if they're not armed, it'll be easy test. It'll be easy. It'll be an easy test ground.
Yep. I just hearing a bunch of sirens again. I haven't heard sirens in like 3 hours. So easy test ground, and it's all because they want this cartel action so they can see. We got to make sure the cartel can't use the internet to communicate. But the problem is, I'm sure the cartel is right in bed with the governments. I mean, how can they not be? More gunshots. Yeah, there's some shit happening. Sorry, guys. There's some stuff happening out there.
Jake, Colin wants to call in and talk at the same time as you, but I don't know if he's going to run out of time. He wants us. He wants to get on at the same time as you because he thinks that you're exaggerating. But I don't understand how you could possibly be exaggerating. It's not like you're lying to us.
So I'm just telling you what's going on here. One more thing, and you can put Colin on the same line too. At the same time
I wanted
also.
to, but he's not hurrying, so he hasn't called yet.
Yep. So the family I'm staying with, so I screwed up on my Airbnb. I screwed up, and I told Colin we had the Airbnb until we had to be out of there Sunday morning, and we actually had to be out of there Saturday morning. So I'm like, oh darn, I don't have a place.
Okay, but just don't give out any like personal data about where you guys are staying or anything like that.
No, I won't.
Okay.
So I don't have a place to stay. So one of the families that I did blacksmithing with and I did the man camp stuff with here the last couple of years at Anarchapulco was like, Jay, you can come stay at our house. I'm like, sweet. So they were planning on going to the beach. And there's like a really awesome beach over here. It's wicked popular. It's a lot of fun.
You're both on the line now, by the way.
Yeah, they were planning on going to the beach, and they didn't go to the beach this morning because I stayed over their house. And they're like, Jay's here. We're going to stay with Jay. We're going to hang out with Jay. Mm-hmm. We've got a guest in the house. And when all this stuff kicked off, they would have been at that beach. And I watched a video of the beach where there was a firefight, and they're like, they weren't 100% sure that was the beach, but they're like, it looks like the beach we wanted to. But the place they would have had to drive to is like, that's where like the huge war zone is, like where they had to go, like over by the airport. It's a Route 200 that you'd have to take over to the beach. You got to go just on the other side of the airport. Like that's where like a bunch of bodies are.
And Colin, before you say anything, I did say the same thing to Jay. Just don't give out any like personal information about where you guys are staying or anything like that. Because the government could be related. The government listens to Free Talk Live.
Right.
Wait. Are you on break right now?
No, we're not on break. This is the show. So I'm just asking. You said you wanted to call in and say that Jay is exaggerating, or maybe like that you think it's actually much safer in this war zone.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know I was on air right now.
Don't be on speaker or anything. It sounds a little robotic.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
So, okay. Colin, if you're listening, they just set more cars on fire south of where I am. So basically, Colin, I'm like, I'm not far from the convention center. Oh, I'm just on the outskirts of this area. And between where I am and essentially the convention center, there's gunshots happening, and there's a lot of smoke. And I just saw a bunch of flames, and there's another stuff being set on fire to the west a little more, and I keep on hearing gunshots. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, if I know where you are, and by the way, when you get off, just send me your address so I know where you're at. I'm over to the west of you, but I'm basically near the beach. And there hasn't been anything in this area today. I had to actually wander out into town to go see stuff, and I caught, some footage and pictures of, cars that were burning and stuff. So, they are going around and they are doing that stuff. And I think they're kind of randomly appearing wherever they can and, burning stuff, as they can take advantage of it. And there's not a lot of people driving, but more people are driving now than there were earlier. Earlier, there was like nobody on the roads. Now there are people on the roads, driving around and stuff. But over in the area where the resorts are and stuff, it's like totally fine, nothing. And I haven't heard any gunshots the whole day. The only thing I heard were like explosions, but those were from cars that were on fire, like their tires were blowing up. Other things that were inside of them that, you know, could contain pressure were blowing up. I mean, even in the footage that I caught, you know, you could like hear some pops and stuff from the cars. I don't know if I caught one of them where like we actually saw the tires blow off of the car, which is kind of fun to watch. But yeah, I don't think you're that far from me. But you know, they might be doing stuff over at the airport. They definitely could be, because over near the airport is where it's where like the army barracks is. Right. Yeah. And so there could be something going on there. But I don't know to what degree they're attacking any kind of civilians. I know, see, the same thing happened down here in 2023 after the Mexican government, with the help of the U.S. in some way, went and captured El Chapo's son. And then they did that, and they did it all over, you know, like Jalisco, and I think like maybe Sinaloa, and like Manzanilla, all the way down almost to Acapulco. Yeah. They were doing stuff like this. And Danny Sessom, his YouTube channel is, what is it, RV Adventure or an RV Adventure? I think that's it. You can go and you can find video, because he was on his motorcycle and he was driving down. And so, you know, he has all sorts of footage of, you know, driving around stuff that's burned down, and then talking to, you know, various like local Mexicans wherever he was at. So yeah, but go ahead, Jay.
No, the people I'm staying with are just making sure that I was still out here. They were checking on me. That's all. But keep going.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like, I mean, you know, not like I've ever talked to anybody in the cartel, and I know how they do things or why they do things exactly. But like, they did this after that happened. And from what I understand, and, you know, I've heard like conflicting things, and it's hard to get information because, you know, you can't necessarily trust what you hear in the media. You also can't even trust what you hear from a person who heard it from a person, you know. And like, I'm in, you know, Telegram and Signal groups up in New Hampshire, and people are saying stuff in there, and I'm like, what the heck do you know? Like, you don't even speak Spanish. Like, you couldn't even read. I was reading some Spanish news places today, you know, regarding this. But in any case, what I was saying is, yeah, I don't, you know, who knows how they actually operate, but it always seems to me like what they're doing is it's kind of like a show of force. It's like, oh, you did this, well, look at all this stuff that we're going to mess up. And I think the idea is kind of like to make people's lives miserable a little bit, so they'll be, you know, they'll tell the politicians like, hey, don't mess with the cartel.
I wish that they listened. I wish the government listened, because in 2013, I don't remember what that president's name was anymore, but he was like, you know what, I'm going to send the military and we're going to get rid of the cartel. And all of the Mexicans hate that president. He's like a hated president because he didn't have to do that. And the thing is, this is what they do. This is what stupid governments do over and over again all over the entire world, is they take out, like I have a quote right here. It says, Department of Secretary of State Christopher Landau called El Mencho one of the bloodiest, most ruthless drug kingpins. This is a great development for Mexico and U.S. and the Latin world, he wrote. And it's like, no, it's not, because you killed one person. There are so many other people, and it's going to cause civilian casualties. But they know this. They want this. That's what bothers me. It's just a replaceable head of the cartel.
And this is the stuff that this is the stuff we're gonna find out after this. As time goes on, we're gonna find out, like, oh, what was the United States involvement in it? What was their, you know, what are their aims exactly? What is it that they care about in doing this kind of thing? You know, or are they playing two sides against each other? Because I mean, you know, I'll just tell you what I've seen today. Like, I saw like the military, Mexican military, not police, but Mexican military helicopters flying overhead, and I kind of made a joke because I was like, yeah, they're just flying over the bay. And I'm like, there's nobody's, the cartel isn't in the bay right now. Like, that's silly. What were they doing?
There was Apache helicopters flying all over, here too.
Yeah.
And While you're talking, Colin, I counted about 24 gunshots. There is more stuff being set on fire. I see. There is 1, 2, 3. It looks like there's 3 more fires happening right now. In that whole area, there's gunshots going on, and I can see it from where I am. And actually, I'm out here talking to you, and I'm looking, and there's like 15 other houses that got people on their rooftops, and they're looking. And one guy looks like he's got like a scope, like a telescope, and another guy looks like he might have binoculars. A bunch of people watching this from their rooftops right now.
Yeah. Like I said, make sure send me on Signal, where you're at or whatever. Just so I know, because we might need to keep in touch over the next couple of days. There's still a large number of us down here from New Hampshire. A bunch of people came down here. We counted it, and there's at least 12 that we could think of off the top of our heads and name. So we'll just want to, and I know a bunch of them have already left, but some of them haven't, and so we'll just want to keep in touch with them. But yeah, well, I saw like the military people in the backs of their trucks driving down the road, but like the people in the back of the truck were like on their phone, so it's just like they are any other time you see them driving around. So, to me, some of it's like a dance, some of it's like a show. It's like the cartel comes out and it does its thing, and then the people know, like those cars are burning, but like the fire trucks don't come out, immediately. But I have this evening already seen burnt up cars that have been loaded onto, like flatbed things and hauled away. So they're already cleaning up in some areas. But yeah. Like Jay says, there might be stuff going on over where he is. Hello?
And
yeah, I heard you.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
One thing I want to ask is, have you guys heard anything about what the cartel's demands are?
No, but
I haven't, I don't think there are any.
So I just got a message from my wife, and it says, are they? Oh. And some people, they're lighting up cigarettes on like 3 houses over. I'm like, what is that? So there's so they said that the cartels were going to start going house to house and just executing people if they didn't get their demand by 5 p.m. And it's something that my wife heard somewhere. I don't know if you guys,
where did she hear that from?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. That sounds like sensational stuff. And trust us, whatever happens down here, I'm sure the U.S. wants an excuse for a war right now, whether it's Iran or whether it's Mexico. And they have been planning one for Mexico for a while now. I was calling it like 3 years ago, and I said, yep, they're going to use something related to cartels as an excuse. That doesn't mean that the cartel thing isn't happening. It just means that they're going to use it as an excuse, or they're going to add propaganda on top of it. Yeah.
A war on multiple fronts will not be good.
So, I mean, they destabilize countries. They send in CIA mercs to just go in and like these cartel guys could be a bunch of CIA guys coming in here and just start killing a whole bunch of people for that in purpose. It's called a false flag. They do it all the time.
All right, the internet's saying that there's no credible reports for any demands. It's literally just a response to be angry, I guess, like acting out in response of the killing of that guy.
Yeah, and then that's like what they did in 23 with El Chapo's son. It was the same thing. There weren't any demands, and yeah, I don't see them going. And this, I don't want to sound like I'm saying, oh, the cartel are good people and blah 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 blah. But they have like things, they have to operate within a certain range, like they need a certain amount of support from the people, but they also, can screw any particular individual over if they need to for any reason. But they also don't want to, do it when they don't need to. So like all these cars that they've been setting on fire, well, the videos that I have are cars that were obviously parked. Those are the videos that I have. But excuse me, there's other ones where they hijacked cars and then like parked them across the road and then lit them on fire. And, like I said, they would hijack those. So they would like take the car, putting guns at it, make the person get out. But they didn't just like shoot the person. They could, maybe, if he doesn't listen, but I think the Mexicans kind of like understand how this works, and it's like, okay, well, better my car than my life, And also another thing, they did back then target specifically buses and certain big trucks. So that makes sense because they're easy to cross the road. But I think there could also be a thing there where it's like, this is a public service, so we're going to attack it.
Yeah, like messing up any infrastructure. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to specifically say about this, either of you?
Yes. Pray for the people of Mexico and all of us down here. Make sure we, get home.
Yeah.
And that this, nonsense ends. And we also need to pray for the collapse of, fiat currency in the U.S. dollar, because that's what's fueling all this.
Hell yeah.
Yes. I mean, I can add to that because, the cartels wouldn't be what they are if it weren't for the U.S. making like all of these substances illegal. Like, that's what gives them all of this money, and that's what creates all of the trade and everything. And honestly, like the Mexicans, they understand this. They understand that the reason they have cartels is because of America in one way or another, whether the government directly, but also it's like the American appetite for cocaine. Like, they just assume that Americans do cocaine when you're down here. They just assume that about you. And it is like largely true. Like, that is a big drug that a lot of Americans do, and they pay a lot of money for it. I can't believe that's an expensive drug. I don't know why anybody does it.
I don't
you
know.
Get so much more. Yeah, you get so much more bang for your buck out of psychedelics. Because people who do coke, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. But they'll do it, and then they'll drink, which cancels it out, and then they'll do some more, and then they'll drink some more, and they'll just keep snorting it, like again and again and again over the night, and they'll go through like $1,000 a night, if it's them and a couple of friends.
Wow.
And that's and that money all goes down to fund this kind of stuff, and it wouldn't have to if that was legal, So do I have anything else to add to it?
I agree that the war on drugs is a huge reason why this is happening at all. Why anybody was killed, why anybody's being terrorized.
It's problem, reaction, solution. So, we have the problem because of the government, and then the government creates another problem, and then they make it worse, and they make it worse in this way, and then they make it worse in that way. And then they go to Mexico and they say, oh, well, now that there's these cartels and they have all this money and they have all these weapons because we give them money because of making, this illegal. Now we want you to stop that. We want you to stop those guys, and we need you to put a stop to that. And it's like, okay, and then what's going to happen from that,
Yep.
Well, I see a big fireball right now. Like, there's some major stuff on fire to the southwest, and it's the brightest light I've seen. I think this is going to be an interesting evening. They're telling people to close their shades, shut off all their lights, make it look like you're not home. Of course, they're saying listen to only what the authorities say. Don't listen to the other parties.
That stuff bothers me.
But Colin, there's just, I'm hearing gunshots just chronically. Like, I'm taking some video of this while we're talking, and I'll send it to you guys.
Well, it is just a first-hand look at what terrorism is caused directly by the United States government. I don't know why I said usually earlier. The empire needs to end. This is suffering is happening directly because of the empire. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Hey, you are going to love the movie Victimless Crime Spree. It's hilarious, heartwarming, and carries a ton of inspiring freedom messages. Feeling down about the lack of liberty in your life? You need to put on this film with some friends and have a good laugh. It's a true story about me and my friends in New Hampshire living free, singing, dancing, and getting arrested. Of course, it's all on video, and the bad guys, the cops, judges, bailiffs, and sheriffs, they all play their part like it's out of a movie or something. You would think we scripted the whole thing, but it's real life. Go ahead and have a watch, and if it's been a while, have another look. I guarantee you'll notice things now that you didn't notice before. And the best part is that you're going to walk away feeling a renewed sense of your own power. You are the master of your destiny, and you will be free in your lifetime. Victimless Crime Spree.
From Feature Story News in San Francisco, I'm Ira Spitzer with a look back at some of the week's top stories. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew of the British royal family, was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It relates to his time as trade envoy and the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been charged and has long denied any wrongdoing. FSN's Ollie Barrett has more from London.
What police are further saying is that this is part of an investigation now, they confirm. The reason that is significant is that previously Thames Valley Police had simply said they were assessing claims that had been made to them about the potential of misconduct in a public office. They've now confirmed a formal investigation is underway and an arrest has been made. They say the arrest was made on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and they say they're also carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's sweeping tariffs on global trading partners are illegal. In a 6-3 ruling, the court determined that the tariffs didn't have the proper authorization from Congress. FSN's Nick Harper has more from Washington.
This ruling is a tremendous blow for the US president and a rare rebuke of his presidential powers. 6 out of the 9 justices saying that they did not believe he had the legal authority to impose tariffs, instead saying that he must have congressional authorization. They said that he had tried to assert extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration and scope. He has reacted by calling the ruling a disgrace, but also saying he has a backup plan. It is likely the White House will look for other ways to reimpose these tariffs.
India joined the U.S.-led AI infrastructure initiative called Pax Silica, which is widely seen as a countermeasure to China's dominance over the supply of key materials used in the industry. It came as top U.S. companies pledged to invest billions of dollars in India during an AI Impact Summit. FSN's Ishan Garg has more from New Delhi.
India joined the Pax Silica initiative on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit, ending speculation over whether trade tensions were getting in the way of broader cooperation between Washington and New Delhi. According to the US State Department, Pax Silica is aimed at bringing friendly countries together to reduce what it calls coercive dependencies. The initiative was launched in December last year with countries including the UK, Australia, South Korea and the UAE as its first few members. With India pitching itself as a key AI power during the AI summit, analysts say the move not only highlights New Delhi's role on a global stage, but also signals thaw in US-India ties.
From Bureaus Worldwide,
you can help spread the ideas of liberty with our Patreon for just $5 per month at amps.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is back. The number 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. And with you on Free Talk Live, you've got me, Bonnie,
Riley O'Bill,
and Richie Rich.
Before we get back into anything, I just find it really good that we are an open phone line show because we just got calls from 2 people in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Yes.
Say the first one, Riley.
Puerto I have no idea.
It's like Puerto, just like Puerto Rico.
Puerta.
So I guess Americans might say Puerto
You can't
Vallarta.
just change the city because you can't pronounce it.
Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta. That plenty of times. No, but Guadalajara is also the... Oh, wait, no, it's Jalisco is the state, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember now.
But I'm glad we have 2
I'm just picking on Riley.
Yeah.
Regardless of, it's terrible down there for sure, but at least we have the ability to have 2 people call into the show and say, this is what's happening. We're boots on the ground. This is what we're experiencing.
It is really crazy. It blows my mind that the things that happen on Free Talk Live sometimes are just like
I know.
Weird.
We're breaking news stories
But
right and left.
the whole time we're talking to Jay, Dave Ridley was on the line, so I want to get right into his call. Dave Ridley in Colorado, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, it's going to be really hard to top that call, but at least I have something positive.
Okay, good.
So for the last 2 years, I have been secretly working on a project that I'm going to announce tonight, and that is a science fiction television series set in New Hampshire.
Whoa.
Very cool.
Now, I say television.
And just so
in
people
quotes.
who don't know, you do have a background in, I'm going to quote unquote, legitimate television production.
What is that?
People who produce TV on regular TV.
Dave Ridley has a background in that?
Don't you, Dave?
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to tell when you watch my videos.
What I meant to say when I said what is that, I meant like what TV station or show what did you work on before?
I went to film school and I worked at a bunch of TV stations, usually as a videographer.
Cool.
So he's got credentials to do a project like this, I guess is what the point I was driving at.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, and for the last 20 years, I've had that kind of on ice and just been doing these quickie things where you just aim the camera, point it, and don't do any editing. That's what I've kind of done for 20 years. But the advances in technology make it possible now or soon for an individual to produce their own television series. And so
is this why you've been on all those AI chat boards and message apps? Is this going to be an AI television show, Dave?
Sort of. Yeah, I used AI to generate the images. And so I basically completed the trailer. I haven't uploaded it yet. And I'm very proud of it. I went ahead and uploaded the poster. I made a poster today and uploaded that to forum.shiresociety.com so you can get a little sense of the concept art. But the idea is this is the story of New Hampshire deep into the future and even deeper into the past.
Where the Free State Project has won. And everyone is still speaking English.
Where are you going to be broadcasting this from? Or to?
Again, that's why I say TV series in quotes.
Okay.
We didn't see the air quotes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, YouTube, Odyssey, maybe Rumble, maybe BitChute. That'll be where I start. But I might go ahead and start up with TikTok too. I didn't have much luck with them the last time I tried to use them. But I'll put it where I can. I think people will come to it because I think it will be good enough.
How many episodes are you planning? If you're going on TikTok, you can't do long format, right? That's not really TikTok's forte. So how long are you planning, like each episode length, or what's the nuts and bolts?
I'm going to go with what's worked the best, historically. I mean, it's normal for every episode of The Expanse is 45 minutes long. Every episode of Three Body Problem is 45 minutes long, I believe, unless there's a pilot or two that was longer. So that works, and that's the format that I'll be following, so that it could be put on television if it starts to gain enough of a following.
Nice, that would be awesome. So you don't have like a link yet? It's to be announced.
Yeah, to see the first image, just go to forum.shiresociety.com, and I uploaded the poster there. The trailer should upload in about a week.
Okay, so forum.shiresociety.com.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I'll run it. I'll air it on RidleyReport.com, just like my normal Ridleyo's.
Awesome. I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited for the trailer.
I hope that this will be as exciting to everyone else as it has been to me so far. I'm very pumped about it, but we'll see what the public thinks.
If you want to get human actors involved here in New Hampshire, at one point, I think it was around the pandemic, Silver Dave, since he was brought up before, started a production of what's the Roddy Piper movie with the aliens?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Help me out. I just spaced on it and I can't. Anyway.
They Live?
Yes, that's the one thing. I should not have spaced on that, but I did. But he started like a remake of that. And like I went down to shoot a scene as like Thug number 4 or whatever. And they lost the footage and I never got called back from Silver Dave. So I'm very disappointed that I wasn't able to participate in one of those things.
That would be really fun.
It would be, but my point is, if Dave is doing something similar and he's is back in New Hampshire and wants to film like live people instead of AI stuff, right? I'm down to be, Thug number 4 again, or whatever openings he has.
I always call you that
audition or
anyway.
whatever. And I fit the role, man. Dave was like, send us a picture of like your best thug, right? And I did, and he's like, oh yeah, come on down. We'll put you in the car. Non-speaking role, just sat in the car and mean mugged for the camera.
That's
like,
hilarious.
I can do it. I'm there for you, Dave.
Riley's like, who's on the show tonight? I'm like, it's Thug number 4.
It's true.
I forgot. I buried the lead. There's a title for this television series, and it's called Legends of the Free State.
Awesome.
Nice.
And I love how it goes along with your current call-in series on calling in and telling New Hampshire activist history, freedom activism history.
Yeah, one thing though I'm finding is that the history I'm trying to tell and the New Hampshire history alone is so big in time and space that it's almost overwhelming us. Like, I'm finding it difficult. How do I put the Free Staters into this with all this stuff I'm discovering about John Stark and Ona Staines and all the things that have happened in New Hampshire in the Abenaki Wars? And it's just it's going to be difficult to give the Free Staters the degree of time and credit in this series that they deserve. But I can make as many episodes as I want once the technology is good enough.
Spin-off series.
True. You got anything else for us, Dave?
Yeah, I guess there's one other thing I'm going to do, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the reason why there's so much good fan fiction or fan films in the Star Wars genre is because George Lucas promised that he would never sue anyone for making a Star Wars film without his permission. As long as they didn't make money at it, they could do anything they want, right?
Oh, wow.
And so that created a subculture of fantastic films, some of which are better than George Lucas's films. And I want to take that concept a step further. So what I'm probably going to do, I haven't done it yet, I will probably release everything I do into the public domain and then give everyone permission to take it and make their own videos and stories with it. I may also release the entire screenplay from start to finish, pretty early on, so that everyone kind of has a sense of what canon is. The only price that you would pay for taking my idea and running with it and making your own money with it, if you don't do it right, if you do a bad job, I might not pronounce you canon.
Okay. That works, because there's a lot of fiction in the Star Wars universe that is no longer canon, and keeping track of all that with the volume of media you can consume makes it very difficult for anything to stay canon in that universe.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope that I can trigger something that's bigger than me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I like the idea of you doing fiction at all. I don't think anybody up here is really doing that I know of. I could be wrong,
Well, media production's very expensive, but now with the advent of AI, right, it reduces that cost significantly. So someone like Dave can do it completely independently, or with moderate support. I don't know how much help you're getting on the side.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't even know anyone writing fiction books that off the top of my head. I know, Alu writes books, but not fiction, stuff like that.
That's fair.
Interesting. Really cool. So it's called The Legends of the Free State?
Correct.
All right.
Very cool.
At RidleyReport.com for more Dave Ridley, and also to keep a track of that.
I'm sure we'll get updates on the show as well.
And also Shire Society. No, sorry.
Forum.shiresociety.com.
Thank you. Thank you for the call, Dave. We also have Turd Ferguson in Pennsylvania on the line. Turd, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, to be clear, one of the reasons why George Lucas would not be able to sue anybody for creating Star Wars is because you can't copyright the Star Wars name. You can't really copyright a movie title. It's basic media law. I'm willing to bet if somebody put Luke Skywalker, though, right into their Star Wars fan film, George Lucas might think again.
Or the parody porn.
I'm sorry, what?
The parody porn?
Well, the parodies are also legal in media law, as they should be.
Well,
but if somebody wants to create a movie with Luke Skywalker and call it Star Wars, they'd be good up until they use the character Luke Skywalker.
Well, it doesn't really matter anyway, because Disney bought it anyway, and Disney is so serious about all that stuff. But
and Sue happy.
This can't be what you called in about, because you were already on the line. So what did you actually call it about?
It's not. I just wanted to clarify that. But Yo, what's going on with the Matrix server? Let's get this back up. Come on. I want to roast. I want to roast Cocktail.
People are working on it. I had
just use Telegram or Signal.
I really had bet you guys are having withdrawals, but people are working on it, and apparently what happened was that just room was run out. So I honestly am a little confused about why it's not back up, because like
they ran out of server space.
Because
make more.
All the gay porn that Cocktail has posted in the chat took up all the space. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
Yeah, so.
But I also know that Penguin and the people working on it are doing a massive overhaul of the system, so.
Yes, I guess
Well,
it's
I
more
hope
than just
Penguin's
buy
not
more
putting any gay porn in there. We've got enough from Cocktail.
Okay. I doubt it. Anything else for us, Turd?
No, I guess not. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I made a big sale earlier. Made about $2,500 in commission in one shot. It's snowing pretty hard here in Shrewsbury, but I'm in the hot tub. It's snowing on my head, but the rest of my body is very hot.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I wanted like back in the day when I was like more online with getting a house and some property. I was like, put the hot tub out there, kind of like where it's convenient, and then like a heated walkway, like heat lamps on your walkway down there, so everything's melted away around you.
Heck
and
yeah,
you get
that's
two
awesome.
of the hot tub and back in this like warm little corridor.
Somebody was complaining to me that's from New Hampshire. They were like, I've always lived here, and my birthday is like November 19th, and so it sucks because it's always cold on my birthday. I was like, have a hot tub birthday.
Yeah.
That'd be
There
awesome.
you go.
Or there's no rule that says you have to celebrate your birthday on your birthday. It's just a party.
You could also, since your husband is in jail, you could just use the money to buy a hot tub. I believe he was the one that would not let you get a hot tub, but I don't know.
I
He's
told
going
you
to
guys
stop
that.
you now, dude.
Yeah, he wouldn't let me get a hot tub. But the thing is, like, he was like, we got to think about this. And I would
Ian
never
was
buy
just
something that big without Ian's help, because I will be like, I'm tired of thinking about this. I'll just buy this one. And then Ian would be like, 48 hours later, still researching it, not tired of doing so, and get us the perfect hot tub. And I would just never do something like that
That's
by myself.
because
to be honest.
Ian's frugal. He wants to make sure his dollar's going far.
It's frugality and also intelligence, and
Yeah.
also not having ADHD or whatever the heck
The
is wrong with
the
me.
one thing better than having a hot tub is having a friend with a hot tub.
Probably
Maintenance
upkeep.
Maintenance and upkeep. You're just like, dude, we're going to go in the hot tub tonight.
Did you hear him?
Having a female friend with a hot tub.
Yeah, that'd be
regardless.
nice.
Even better.
If you're a female, have a female friend, or if you're a male, have a female friend. It works both ways. You know what I'm saying? It swings both ways. You feel me? I might actually do the heat lamp thing soon on the way out of the hot tub. I was also thinking about getting.
That's fine.
Yeah, I was thinking
great
about
idea.
getting a heated driveway too to melt the snow. But the issue right now, my bathroom's getting remodeled. I'm gonna have the coolest bathroom in PA. I mean, my shower's almost done. I got the employee discount on it. It is badass, dude. I mean, I have a badass shower.
only
I've got
had a
the
girlfriend
floating
to share it with.
Yeah. Well,
I don't. Well, I have a girlfriend, and you could get the milk for free. Okay.
Sure.
As soon as his
assuming you're doing that
soon
too.
as his bathtub's done, his shower's done, he's going to cruise in the local high school orientation day.
I had to put him on
Where
mute
are
because I
those
don't even
new
want
freshmen?
don't even want to hear what he has to say to that. Thanks for the call, Turd. And we didn't get into much show prep tonight, which is also
It's
I mean,
better
a good
that way.
thing.
Calls are better.
Yeah, that's true. But I do want to say we have this weird thing in our show prep. It's from theindependent.com. Waffle House customer.
Reputable news source.
Yeah, Waffle House customer maced, tased, and zip-tied over hash brown order, lawsuit says. That's
This is great.
insane.
I read like most of it. Unfortunately, I think the actual events are lower in the article, so you might have to skip down to what actually happened, time permitted.
Mm-hmm.
But like Waffle House is one of those places that is known for their violence, right? And they kind of lean on that a little bit.
What? They lean on it.
Yeah, like the official Waffle House Twitter, whatever account, social media account, they know the reputation that the Waffle House has,
And they joke about it?
and they joke about it.
Okay.
Someone said like, send me a location, for a fight, and they were like, any. Like, just pick a Waffle House, and you can start a fight
I will
at 4 in the
also
morning.
add that a Waffle House will stay open as much as they can until there's a really major storm.
Yes, that's the Waffle House is also a metric on how bad a storm is, because if the Waffle House is open, it's not that bad, and if
Yeah.
the Waffle House closes, like to hunker down.
Dang. Well,
It's also unfortunate we don't have any up here.
Yeah, I haven't been to one in so long, but I've maybe ID'd at it. I don't know. Says a Nashville man trying to order a hash brown bowl at an area Waffle House claims he was instead hit in the face with bear spray, taken to the ground with a stun gun, and immobilized with plastic zip ties following a confrontation with the cook that went off the rails. Because I was wondering, I was like, was this just another person in there?
It wasn't the cook that did this to him.
Oh, okay. Gregory Lindhall, 62, says he was assaulted by a riot gear-clad security guard at the restaurant after getting in the middle of an argument between the cook and a server who turned out to be the cook's wife. So there's a domestic dispute at the Waffle House with employees, and he was like, "Can I just get some hash browns?" Whoa. Okay, so it says, according to a 6-figure lawsuit obtained by The Independent. In his complaint, Hall, who was hospitalized following the altercation, calls the security guard's actions unjustified, excessive, and malicious, alleging he sought to embarrass and humiliate him. The guard had no reason to confront Mr. Hall with riot gear just because he was trying to order food at the window.
Makes sense.
The complaint, which blames the cook for sparking the encounter. All right. In the response, Waffle House attorneys fired back, saying Hall contributed significantly to the situation. Hall, the response says, was being rude and abusive to the employees of the restaurant and was told to leave the premises, which he refused to do. He continued aggressively arguing with the security guard and continued ignoring multiple commands to leave the premises, which resulted in a non-lethal use of non-lethal force to expel him from the premises.
Which seems reasonable, right? If someone's not leaving your property and you have the right to evict them from your property and they won't go peacefully, sometimes they have to be removed. Physically.
If a jury indeed rules in favor of Hall, who is seeking at least $300,000 in damages, Waffle House argues that a percentage of fault should be assigned to Hall to reduce or bar his recovery. What does that mean? A percentage should be assigned to.
So if he's 50% responsible, then they only give him like $150,000 instead of $300,000.
In an email, Hall's attorney told The Independent that both sides have entered into and agreed to a protective order which forbids certain sensitive information from being shared. The Waffle
What
House
was said to the cook and his wife.
The Waffle House chain, open 24/7, has developed a reputation for being a place where fights are known to break out.
See?
As memorialized in skits on Saturday Night Live, The Daily Show, and others. That's hilarious. Why I don't know why I didn't know that. Just last year, a customer was pummeled by Waffle House's entire staff after taking a swing at a cook who he believed was responsible for burning his hash browns.
Oh, wow.
So stupid. I've probably cleaned blood off of every surface in a Waffle House, one former server told The Independent in a 2023 interview.
Knowing this, right, you have to expect this when you go into a Waffle House, right? If you voluntarily enter a Waffle House knowing how violent it can be, like, you've tacitly agreed to participate in some of that violence.
So it says that his complaint says Mr. Hall entered the restaurant to order when the cook began shouting profanities and told him to get out and go to the window to order his food. The complaint goes on. Hall went to the window to place his order, and the female Waffle House employee came to the window to take his order, but before she could do so, the cook began to use profanities again towards Hall and the woman, telling the female Waffle House employee to get the F back over here. Hall was astonished by the cook's demeaning tone and disrespect towards his fellow employee, but then when he found out that the server was the cook's property, he changed his mind. No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I just said that. Because maybe I would be a little more concerned if this was like, you don't know this woman. But if it's like his wife, I think I'd be kind of like, oh, that ain't none of my business. See what I'm
Right.
saying? I was joking about
Also, he
him
wants to
being
put in his order, and like the cook told him to go to the window.
Yeah, that's weird.
He goes to the window, and then the lady who's supposed to take his order, the cook recalls from the window.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what are you doing,
annoying.
cook? Yeah.
That is weird and annoying.
Right.
So, according to the complaint, which
Typical
says
Waffle
Hall stepped in and asked the cook why he was talking to the server in such a way. It says the cook replied, "That's my effing wife. You don't tell me how to talk to her." The cook then...
Also, good reason not to white knight when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. The cook then took Hall's order for a hash brown bowl, so the cook himself took it. A base layer of hash browns topped with eggs, melted cheese, and a choice of protein. Why are we getting this? This is an ad.
It's gonna be the best waffle bowl you've ever had, hash brown bowl you've ever had. After you've upset the cook.
Yeah, right? If I was fighting with the cook, I think I'd just be like, oh, wait a second, and leave.
But this is the Waffle House.
Still confused about the interaction, Hall decided to take a picture inside the restaurant to preserve the information in case something happened between the couple. That's another, you're just too nosy. Sorry. After snapping the photo, the complaint says a uniformed security guard on the premises confronted Hall and told him to leave.
This is the best part.
Hall said he was going to stick around until his food was ready, prompting the security guard to go to his truck and don riot gear.
The security guard was like, "Not today, sir," and went to his car to get the riot gear to escort him out of the. The security guard had riot gear readily available in his car, knowing what goes down at the Waffle House.
That's hilarious. It's just hilarious to think of, like, oh, sorry, it took me like 5 minutes. What are you doing back? Oh, you've got this riot gear. Psst.
I'm coming back to escort you out, sir, and you're not going to like it when I do.
That's so funny.
Oh, man.
It says Hall said he was going to stick around till the guy went to his truck and donned riot gear, according to the complaint. He then returned with bear spray and let it go in Hall's face, the complaint alleges. As Hall tried to back away, the security guard followed Hall outside. So he's like outside, that's a little crazy, and used a stun gun taser on Mr. Hall, sending strong waves of electricity through his body, causing intense pain and discomfort. Okay, did AI write this? Because, like, why are you describing everything like...
It might be AI supported, but as Riley said, it's a reputable news source. So.
Yeah.
Like, we needed an explanation that stun guns hurt and they cause, that's
even if this is fake, it's believable because it's the Waffle House.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying, like, that's a weird way to write.
Yes.
The pain and electricity, along with the disorienting bear spray in his eyes, caused Mr. Hall to fall to the ground in pain. It contends the complaint. The security guard put his knee in Hall's back, pulled his arms behind him, and then zip-tied his hands. An ambulance then took Hall to the emergency room at Metro General Hospital, the complaint states. As a result of Waffle House and S&S's, I don't know what that is, maybe the...
parent company? I don't know.
Or the security people's company?
Yeah.
Negligence, Hall sustained severe and permanent injuries, which have required and will continue to require medical attention. That's interesting. What about being maced and... I don't know.
You would think when you come back in the riot gear, you give the guy, like, one more chance.
Yeah, like...
Right, like,
right,
hey, this is your second warning. Right?
Spray.
Your second warning, don't make me use this. I've already put it on, so I'm ready to go, but I'll let you leave peacefully one last time.
Maybe it's just like he got anxiety. Oh my God, it's literally right here. I was going to say maybe he got diagnosed with PTSD. Mr. Hall suffered serious mental injury in the form of loss of sleep, anxiety, and other injury. But I'm just like, I'm sorry. Did you get permanently physically injured? Okay, I understand. Like, it's not like anxiety is nothing.
You got your butt whipped by a security guard in riot gear at a Waffle House. He should be filing this lawsuit anonymously just to avoid the embarrassment.
I'm Mr. Hall.
Oh, man.
Well, anyways, that's pretty hilarious, but messed up. I don't condone violence. I also think the guy should have, minded his own business. More Free Talk Live next weekend, and also more Free Talk Live at freetalklive.com. Thanks for listening, and peace.
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. In addition to being one of the world's first cryptocurrencies, Dash was the first crypto project to have a decentralized autonomous organization